Hello and welcome to another edition of Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Jonathan.
Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here with my dogs, and I'm very excited to talk to you about all the new music this month.
How are the pups doing? Everything good?
They are neurotic as usual and always hungry and never content, but very cute, and that's all that really matters, I guess.
Welcome to puppies. I've got my cat somewhere. She doesn't really care, which is typical for cats.
Yeah.
I'm excited for for all the content we have this month. We have a big playlist. It's about 15 hours. For everybody who doesn't know, we have a rotating playlist every month. That playlist gets deleted and archived at the end of our conversation today, where we're going to talk about new releases, a couple of old releases, basically anything we want to regarding music.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get into the singles.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
go, man.
the first single that was added to the playlist this month was the Bee Gees' "More Than a Woman," but it's actually S.G. Lewis's Paradise remix.
Yes.
Let's get into it. What prompted you to add this on here?
Well, it's a new SG Lewis release, so that was the first thing that prompted me to add it. He posted about it on Instagram, like getting some stems that he was very shocked that he was able to obtain. And so I'm guessing the Bee Gees and or their label sent them to him. This is what he says is his favorite Bee Gees song.
Oh,
And
great.
it's a great remix, perfect producer to do it. And I love it, man. This is a fucking awesome remix. What about you?
It's a fantastic remix. I like the original song a little bit more. Obviously, I do really enjoy the Bee Gees. But yeah, this is a great remix. Kind of, honestly, I haven't listened to the Bee Gees in months, so it made me listen to them. Big fan.
Yeah. Well, now that it's festival season, I'm sure this will be a fun one to throw on near the end of his set.
For sure. It's gonna be a fun dance party, I think, for all the festival crowds.
Definitely.
I miss festivals. All
Me
right.
too.
I think the next one is a Drake feature on Brent Faiyaz. Faiyaz?
Mhm. I think Fayaz. Yeah, I usually say
Faiyaz.
Fayaz.
All right. Well, I thought this was a decent track. Drake's flow seems a little off though. He's done much better. If this is any indication of what his
I'm
new
gonna stop you
work
right
is
there,
going to be.
Brandon. This is a terrible fucking track. This is a boring song. This is a terrible beat. Brent Fayaz is one of my favorite like up and coming R&B guys. This is not it. I just said it's a terrible beat, but I want to one more time say how bad this beat is. This is one of the worst Drake verses I've ever fucking heard in my life. The Queen's Gambit line pisses me off for some reason. Like, I can't even describe why I hate it so much. It's like way too recently referential, I guess. This is a big miss for me.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna be polite because I knew Drake was releasing an album, and I'm actually excited to listen to Drake's album at the end of the year or towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
But yeah, this definitely is not good. So
actually, right before this conversation, I just saw on Twitter that he posted that Certified Lover Boy is officially done, and for everyone that's in the way to get out of the way, or whatever bullshit he's gonna say. But
yeah, that's some record label bullshit.
oh, are you gonna give us another Tootsie slide? Is that what's coming?
Imagine. Well, moving on from a bad song, let's go to what I
To
believe another bad song. Yeah, TBS and Ty Dolla Sign. Is this song about some dude cheating and then being upset when his girl leaves? What the
I
fuck
honestly,
is this?
you made it further into analysis on this song than I did because you actually like listened to the lyrics to pick that up. So first, it's Division. It's like the
Oh,
stupid no vowel thing that everyone's doing. They It's just not a great song. I think Ty Dolla Sign's usually a good feature, but if he's the best part of the song, you have a problem right off the bat. And Division like sounds like they're trying to do this R. Kelly type of thing on this song, and the Mac Miller verse clearly is tacked on. They bought it, added it to the song. Another
For the
miss.
record, for anybody listening, please don't do an R. Kelly thing. I don't care what it is that you're thinking about doing. Just don't do it.
Yeah, yeah, that time is past. Like, even if outside of personal things R. Kelly would do, even musical things R. Kelly would do need to not be recreated at this point.
Right. Well, now that we've got some bad songs out of the way, how about that Nas "Life Is Like a Dice Game"? Freddie Gibbs, Corday. This is a modern classic, man.
I'm gonna pound the song of the month button already. This is it. This is fucking perfect.
It's it.
Three of my absolute favorites. I don't know if it's because of this song. I really doubt it. But Nas announced King's Disease 2 dropping. We're recording this on July 31st. It's dropping next week on August 6th already. So
Wow.
Holy shit, he won a Grammy for King's Disease 1. This song is a Spotify exclusive, so I wonder if it can be included on the album. Regardless, it's fucking phenomenal. All three of them are amazing. I love the way that they all do the chorus, and they all do it a little bit differently. I love Nas's little freestyle at the end. I guess this was an unfinished song that Nas just picked back up and added their two verses to. And shouts out to Corday for fucking holding his own with Nas and Freddie Gibbs on a track. Good God, man.
Like, that's got to be intimidating. It's almost intimidating for me to review it. And it's funny because I'm a little more critical when I see Nas come up. I'm a little bit more critical. He's a legend, and he's kind of got to live up to that every time he releases music, in my opinion. And fuck, man, he does. Like, this song is very good. It's definitely song of the month on the hip hop side of things.
Definitely,
it's a good one. All three verses are perfect. I didn't know that this was an unfinished song. You could have fooled me. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's finished now, but I guess it was one Nas was tooling around with a while back and just decided to finally finish.
Well, it's funny because I imagine that when you kind of leave a song where it is, right, and its point in time, and then you kind of go back to it, you don't expect it to be something like this. This is a modern classic. I think that this song is going to go down as like one of the greatest hip hop songs of this year, at least.
It really is a past, present, future too.
Right, the beat is classic. The verses are modern. It's
perfect people to be on it.
It's a contemporary classic for sure. So I'll give it that.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing we've got going on for us is a Manchester orchestra, but a local natives remix of Bedhead. I think this is my standout song from the Manchester Orchestra album. And while I love the original song, this is a fun remix.
Yeah, it does a great job of using the DNA of the original, not getting rid of it, but only building on it. It feels more like a reimagining than a remix, and I really liked it. Local natives did a great job.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, they've got an interesting sound, and it's two of my favorite indie artists coming together to share a song. I like that.
Me too.
All right, so next we have going on is our We Are Scientists. What did you think?
Mm-hmm. I thought this was a really fun pop punk song. I wasn't familiar with them. So right away when it started playing and I recognized, all right, this is on the pop punk spectrum of music, I click on the profile, dig a little deeper. Definitely a group I'll check out a little more. This song felt a little more on the pop side than the punk side. It's very catchy, but I liked it. I think they do have a new album coming out.
They do. You have to please check out their Megaplex albums. I'm a big fan of this band. I forget how I found these guys. It could have been on a festival lineup. It could have been somebody telling me about it. But big fan of this band and their Megaplex albums. Check them out.
Yeah. Can I say this has nothing to do with this band, but it's just a thought that popped in my head that I will forget if I do not say it.
Go ahead.
I am so fucking bummed Warped Tour went away before streaming festivals became a thing.
Oh man.
Do you know how fucking awesome it would be to stream Warped Tour from your couch and not get sunburned right now? Like, oh my God.
I know.
It'd be great exposure for a lot of the bands on it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of streaming festivals, man. My wife and I
Hmm.
have dance parties in the living room every time Coachella comes around, and we're not going. And
You and
then
I were texting about Tyler at Lollapalooza last night. Like it was a fucking great experience,
if no,
man.
if you were unlucky enough to not catch that live performance,
He
it
had a
was
fucking boat on stage, dude.
I might buy a boat. It's
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
it was art. So if you're a fan of Tyler the Creator, I'm bummed you didn't get to watch that. If you did, then you guys know what I'm saying. It was art for sure.
Yeah.
Iconic. Yeah, absolutely. I would go ahead and I would go ahead and say that if Warped Tour ever comes back around, that I sure hope they stream it. Um, Man, can you imagine watching like from first to last in 2000 and what did I send you earlier this month? I think it was 2009, 2012.
My Heart, Your Hands.
It
God.
was earlier
So
than
that
that,
was on a Warp
2004.
Tour DVD that I actually had back around like 2006 that I bought from an FYE in the Yuba City Mall. Shouts out Yuba City. Um,
Definitely aging ourselves here.
that's the one where Sonny jumps off the scaffolding at the end of it, correct?
It is, and I'm surprised
Yes.
everybody catches them. Everybody
Yeah.
catches him.
That
Let's go
was
ahead
the
and throw
year
that video
before
in the
my
show
first.
notes.
Yes, throw. Oh my fucking god! Yes, that's amazing. I love that. Fun fact: Sonny doesn't actually sing the recording of that song. That's from their debut EP before Sonny Moore was in the band. But they
Yep.
have recently re-uploaded that EP to streaming, so check that out.
Oh, interesting. We'll leave a link in the show notes for that as well.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, so next we have a cover from a slew of covers from Metallica. We have a Sad But True cover from Saint Vincent.
God. Okay.
I enjoyed the cover. I'm not a big Metallica fan. Let's quantify this. Let's qualify this here real quick. I'm not a big Metallica fan. I think that Lars Ulrich is a bad drummer. But I do.
Also a bad person.
Today I learned I haven't cared enough to look into his character because he's such a
I just
bad drummer.
mean that I I don't know much about his personal life, but just those fucking pretentious interviews he was doing around the Napster thing were like forever ingrained in my brain, dude. Yeah, not
Well,
my favorite dude.
to be fair, they were losing money, John.
Can we both agree that the best Lars Ulrich thing is get him to the Greek? That's pretty much it,
Yep,
right?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
What did you think about this cover of Sad But True?
My only note just says stop trying to make St. Vincent happen for me, Brand.
Oh,
I'm just
man,
gonna
I'm
gonna
sorry.
leave Mass Seduction where it's at. I don't, this just didn't do it for me. I'm not a big covers guy, but
Okay.
this one in particular did not do it for me.
Well, how about we jump right over to from here to the Sebastian cover of I believe it's 2 songs that he covers.
It's kind of a
It's
remix
Don't Tread On
mashup.
Else Matters. Yeah, it's interesting. What the hell, man? This is a great cover of this.
Yeah,
These songs? Yeah.
yeah. This I don't know what the fuck this is or what it's for or why it happened, but I'm just gonna accept the gifts that I'm given.
Yeah, it's so I think, and I haven't done any research because again I'm not a big Metallica fan, but judging by Sebastian's cover, they released the stems of these songs and he isolated the vocals
Okay.
completely from the music and was like, I can do better, and
Yep.
continued to do better. Like just proceeded
Yeah.
to just do better.
Especially the second half of the song really, really kicks in. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really surprising, man. Sitting there listening to it, and all of the sudden these strings start happening. It was neat, man. It was neat.
Yeah, it's a rad one. I like that.
Cool. All right, so I think next we have Marion Hill and Young Baby Tate. Why do I
Put
hate
some respect
saying
on
that
young
name?
baby Tate's name, right?
When is the baby thing gonna stop?
Say it with your chest out.
All right, Marion Hill featuring Young Baby Tate.
Love it.
Um,
Perfect. How did you feel about this?
I love the song. I'm a big fan of Marion Hill
Mhm.
because she's just so confident, man. She's got this air about her that's just her. It's
Yeah,
just
I completely understand what you're saying. That's exactly it. Like, um, her and the producer that makes the songs, he actually plays like these on a keyboard live too. So it's not like there's a
oh word.
yeah. Let's throw. I'll find a video to throw in our show notes after. There's some like live stuff from Unusual that I used to watch on YouTube a lot, and yeah, he straight up like plays a lot of that on keyboard live. It's pretty awesome.
Unusual is
And
such a good album too.
oh my god, I'm still waiting for like a proper follow up to it. It feels like maybe this is an album rollout. There's another song of theirs we'll get to later, but yeah, I love the bounce in this track. It's just another classic Marion Hill track.
Great song. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we have JK and Georgia Smith on 1000 Nights.
Yeah.
That voice, though. Georgia Smith's voice is just, I don't know, man, special. Special.
Yeah. I only added this song because Georgia Smith is on it. She kills it. It's kind of mediocre otherwise, but she also has that like kind of gallant ability of like making other people seem like not very good vocalists if they're on the song with you.
Right.
But yeah, she kills it, and she does a little bit more of an up-tempo thing on this song that I really, really liked, and I hope she does more of going forward.
Yeah, I can see that, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, same.
Next, we have Shift Key and Tinashe.
Yeah.
Love Line. This is a great fucking house tune, man. It's infectious as fuck, and her voice is great.
Yeah, I've never heard. So this is like, I think a Shift Key, one of their like VIP remixes of the song, essentially. I've never heard the original, but this remix is fucking fun. The vocal chop is super catchy. Shift Key sounds like they'd be fun to see live.
Yeah, they sound like a great, like a small, like 100-person crowd, you know? Something like
I'm sure they would like to see more people than that in the crowd, but yeah, that would be a great atmosphere to see them.
No, like a small venue is what I'm saying. A small venue
totally
would just light up. Of course they
oh
would,
yeah,
you know, thousands. Moving on, we have Carl Cox Eats Everything remix. All right, I'm just gonna say it. I'm a big fan of Carl Cox's mixes, right? Mm-hmm. He's a legendary DJ, and I'm just not a big fan of his original productions. That being said, Eats Everything adds a lot to this song.
Yeah, I didn't go back and listen to the original of this song, but I really liked the remix. I feel like I need to listen to more Carl Cox productions. Like I don't give him enough of a chance, and like you said, he's obviously top 3 live DJs of all time. So what he makes on his own doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm the same. I've never like put his original productions in the upper echelon of my favorite dance music.
This is that song he opens with when he's about to play a sunrise set. You know, like it's like he's coming on at 3 a.m. or something. This is that,
which is the only time he comes on.
Well, sometimes he comes on at 4, John.
That's correct. You are correct. I stand corrected. Thank you.
I wish I liked his original music more. In fact, when I was first introduced to Carl Cox through one of his essential mixes, which are, I think there's 3 or 4 of them. There might even be 5. And I was like, wow, this guy's fantastic. You know, I need to look into him. And looking into his original music, I was actually pretty disappointed. So,
yeah, that's fair. I feel like him. Eric Prides has some bangers, but could be the same thing too.
Yeah, and he also has, you know, Prida and Cerez D as alter egos and different monikers to kind of put out music with the way he likes to make it. So interesting concept, interesting topic to talk about when Prida releases something new.
Sure.
We're waiting.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
We're waiting. All right. Jungle featuring Boz. This is a fucking banger, man. This is a banger.
Yeah, Romeo. I really like this song. I love the chopped up soul. I think Boz did a great job with the vocals on this. Their new album comes out sometime this upcoming month. They've been promoting it pretty heavy. I think there's another song from this album that they had released this month that I added, maybe this last week, and I'm fucking excited for it, man. This is great.
Me too. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to get a lot of listens out of it, and yeah, I'm just generally excited. This song is a fucking banger.
Same.
And I wonder who else is going to feature on the album.
Me too.
I
would imagine we'll get a track list before it drops, but I think that it comes out. I actually have that in front of me. Bear with me. That album comes out on the 13th, so 2 weeks.
Whew, exciting. Here for it.
Same.
So Lucky the Cat, Temptation. You know that GIF of the cat just kind of vibing to the music, bobbing his head? That's how that was me listening to this song.
That's fucking awesome. So full transparency, Crystal, the vocalist of this song, is a really good friend of my wife and I.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's been doing like covers for years, and she's got a great taste in music. She's a really good guitarist and a really good singer. And I'm happy that she's releasing music publicly. I don't know who Lucky the Cat is. I'm guessing one of her friends, possibly from the Chicago area where she's from. But yeah, this is fucking great. I love it.
Awesome. Well, everybody go give Crystal Franz a listen. Go give her some love on Spotify.
Yeah, I think this is her first like public song on Spotify, so definitely go check it out.
Fantastic. It was really good. It had me vibing. That's great.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and I did not prompt you to say that.
You didn't. No, I'm genuinely surprised here. All right, so next we have Boz, J. Cole, Lil TJ, dude,
the Jackie. This is fucking terrible.
It's awful, man. This will be on the radio though, unfortunately. And,
I hope not. Oh my god, it's so bad. Terrible.
J. Cole is chasing those trends, and unfortunately, we're watching the fall of a what once was a great rapper, man. We didn't like his album when it released earlier in the year, and it's not awful, right? But it just doesn't have that J. Cole vibe. It doesn't have that emotionality.
The game has caught up to J. Cole,
which is, I mean, I honestly thought it would never happen. I thought that he was always going to be 2 or 3 years ahead of whatever he was releasing.
I did too, but there's even some of his own label mates. Like, I think Jid is a lot sharper right now than J. Cole. I would put Corday ahead of J. Cole at the moment. Like, there's a lot of guys just sharper, wittier, even doing the like relatable rap thing. And I don't know. I just, this is even more disappointing because of the previous Baz and J. Cole collaborations. Right. Those were so good. Tribe is fantastic. This sucks, man.
Yeah. I was really bummed because I actually got excited when I saw this when I saw this pop up on the playlist, and I was like, oh, this is what they released.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Whatever. All right, next we have IDK featuring MF Doom, all caps when you spell the man's name. R.I.P. IDK released an album. Is it I don't know or IDK? I don't know. But we didn't. We're not gonna review the album because it's generally not awesome. But this song I think I enjoyed. It's got some really great melodies. It's got surprisingly, it's got like really great harmonies. I wrote down that hip hop is getting really chaotic nowadays. I wish Doom had a better verse on this. I didn't really hear much of MF except for I think it's like the last 2 verses, and it's really not a real verse. It's really just him featuring.
Yeah, he didn't need to be added to this song, or even like I don't think it was necessary. I mean, especially with Westside Gunn and Jay Electronica already on it.
Right. And I understand that it's good to pay homage to one of the greatest rappers of our time, and, you know, funnel some money into his estate and his family, which I, you know, appreciate. But I mean, buy a verse, bro.
Yeah. No. I'm not going to hate on that. This song is fucking crazy. Like, I agree. It's completely chaotic. I think it kind of works just because all the people on it can kind of work in that lane.
Yeah, great melodies.
Jay Electronica's very inconsistent. So this is the first time I've heard him on a track like this, and I thought he did okay. IDK sounds exactly like Kanye West on this to me. Like it's fucking weird.
Yeah, he does. He's got it's funny.
The candor to his voice.
You know, if I listened to the whole album, and he's got kind of like a Kendrick flow, which is weird to say, and the lyrical content is nowhere near where it needs to be compared to Kendrick at all. But he's got that like that pentameter to his flows while sounding like Kanye, and honestly, it's a little weird. It kind of throws me off a little bit.
And I think the comparison only grows when the way the sample in this song is used is kind of exactly the way Kanye and Kid Cudi did the Make Her Say sample with the Lady Gaga thing. It's very similar. They even like use the sample as lyrics in the song, like interpolate it in that exact way.
Yep.
But yeah, it feels derivative of that the more I think of it. But I thought this was a decent song. Nothing I'm gonna like follow him too closely. But you actually got recommended to listen to this album by a friend of yours. So this IDK guy is at least somewhere in the public consciousness right now.
Yeah, he's definitely in the public consciousness. I'm actually going to take a look at it. Who released this? It was Clue No Clue, Warner Records. I thought for some reason it was TDE, but maybe I'm tripping. I'm definitely tripping.
No. We'll get to that release.
I had a friend of mine recommend listening to this album the day it came out, actually, which means that not only are people following IDK, but people are following IDK close enough to know when their albums are dropping.
Yeah, which isn't common for most casual music fans.
It's not, and this friend isn't really a casual music fan. He's a musician himself, and we'll be probably reviewing his album when it drops. I think this month. I think in August. I think it's finally dropping. I won't tell you which one it is when I throw it on here, but we'll definitely be reviewing it. I'm a big fan of his music.
Sounds good.
All right, so next we have Cascade put out Hot Wheels. King is back, man. Fire emoji.
Yeah, it's another very solid release. He rarely disappoints. Has he announced an album, or is this just a never-ending thing of singles we're going to keep getting? He
hasn't announced an album, and it's kind of pissing me off. I actually, after reviewing, I think it's Hypnotize or Hypnotic or something like that. I lamented because God, the song is so good, and all of the singles that he's been putting out is fantastic. If he releases an album, I don't think that these are going to be on the album. Which is weird, and I'm not even sure why I think that. It's just a feeling that I have.
Just an intuition.
Yeah, but I really love the blend of styles here. He's got that kind of grumbling bass line. He's got that future house percussion. It's the pretty vocals. It's very much Cascade. It's very much new Cascade, and I fucking love it. Thank you.
Same.
All right, so we have Lemon Swayze and Rat-a-Tat. I threw this on here because I'm a big fan of Rat-a-Tat.
Kunzite? Is that who it is?
Kunzite? I don't know. I don't follow them. I really just follow Rat-a-Tat, and I really just want Rat-a-Tat to release new original music already. These kind of collaborations that they're doing are fine, and you can hear the Rat-a-Tat influence and the Rat-a-Tat kind of contribution to these singles, but fuck, man, I really just want them to release an album on their own. 17 Years is God, it's so good, man.
Yeah. This song's kind of wild. I like it, but I probably won't revisit it. I'm all for more Rat-a-Tat music though, and I hope they release some more original stuff soon.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
And every time they release something that's a collab where you can hear their contribution and you can hear their style in it, it just makes me just drool for more original Rat-a-Tat. And this doesn't. None of these have been scratching the itch for me. So
same, yeah.
All right, so we have moving on. We have Peggy
Gao.
Gao.
I think it's Gao.
Gao. Okay.
I go.
You threw this on here, man. I had never heard of Peggy Gao, and this is a great house track. Tell me about it.
So I kind of discovered her through, I think, Pitchfork. They post once in a while when she releases new music, and I finally just decided to click on one. And like you, I just heard right away. I was like, oh, this is really good fucking house music. I really like the song. I'll definitely keep checking out what new music she releases. Give us a back-to-back with Jada G, man.
Imagine.
Oh man.
So I actually listened to this song a lot. It is right up my alley. The trailing vocals throughout kind of add this atmospheric, ethereal element to this song. And without those vocals, it would actually kind of be a pretty heavy song. If you take the vocals out of this song, it's pretty heavy. Like, it's a pretty heavy dance floor track, but adding the vocals kind of make it, I don't know, a little lighter, and
it gives it that city pop tinge a little bit.
It's really
it's a great song.
It's really good. Thank you for introducing me, because I will be following.
Yeah, same. She's phenomenal. Come on the show, Peggy. We'd love to have.
Please do. We're ready. All right. Omar Apollo, Go Away. So I'd never heard of Omar Apollo. Thank you for throwing shit on here that I've never heard of.
I'm glad.
Where would you classify this genre wise? Okay.
This is pop. It's alternative pop. If you went back and listened to his very first album, you probably noticed a lot of Spanish language music. He's from Mexico. Yeah, and I think he's a big crossover. My favorite song of his is one with Dominic Fike, Hit Me Up. I listened to that one a lot the past 2 years. It's got a really good like pop R&B vibe to it. So I know he's really capable. I thought this song was good. This song shows off his falsetto in a way that I don't think I've heard in a while, or at least produced this well, and I think that really anchors the whole song.
So while it's clearly pop music, John, it has this weird funk vibe to it, which I fucking really dig. It's got funk elements to it. And is that a guitar solo? I don't know, man. It was really cool. The song is cool. Thank you for introducing me.
I think he plays guitar, so that probably makes sense.
All right,
yeah,
neat.
He's pretty fucking awesome.
Moving on, we have one of my favorite songs of the month here, Only Love by Tycho, featuring Benjamin Gibbard of Death Cab for Cutie. Let's go.
So, not one of my favorite songs of the month.
Really?
I didn't think it worked. No.
Okay.
It felt like it needed some more time in the oven to me. I don't know. I'm having a lot of difficulty adjusting to Tycho with vocals still. And I think that's where the root of it all is. I really love those first 3 albums.
Epic and Drive are just...
Awake, yeah. All those are Dive. There's just so many great songs. And those are the ones I'm going to keep revisiting. I probably won't revisit it that much, but I had a feeling that you might like it, and I wanted you to, which is why I threw it on.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because you and I go to throw music on at the same time pretty much every month, and I thought I was beating you to this one, and turns out I didn't.
Yeah, I go through my release radar before I go through New Music Friday, and it was if it's near the top of that, that's probably how it gets added first. And I'm a big Tycho fan, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
It's I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because I think Benjamin Gibbard's voice and Tycho's instrumentals work really well together. I think that they just sound beautiful, man. And I understand I understand having to adjust to Tycho with vocals. And I also would completely understand if you don't like Tycho with vocals. In fact, I think he's said something to that effect. Like, if you don't like me with vocals, that's fine. I have plenty of non-vocal tracks. In fact, I think he put out
That Weather album had a mix, which I like.
Yeah, I think he put out an album with Weather, and then I think I think he put out Weather without vocals, but it's not on Spotify.
Yeah.
For some reason.
He is from NorCal, actually. Like,
yes.
Yeah, he's got like a pretty good little fan base up there too. So I'm glad to see him fucking thriving. He got a Grammy nomination really early on in his career, and that like definitely changed the arc and allowed him to get so big that he's able to like fucking pull collaborations like this. And I'm super happy for him in that regard.
You know, it's funny. I had the chance to see Tycho, and I did not because I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who he was at the time of the festival. And I remember hearing a song like before the festival and thinking, this is cool, but you know, Foster the People is on at the same time, and I don't regret going to Foster the People because that show was really fun. But I do lament that I did not get to see Tycho, and I was at the festival where he was at.
That sucks. I mean, in retrospect, I'm sure at the time it didn't phase you at all.
Right.
But that said, what's a concert anytime through like kind of, I guess, you being 13 years and older, what's a concert you wish in retrospect that you would have somehow just thrown all your money at to be able to go to in your like adult lifetime?
Ooh, it's a fun question. I don't know. In fact, I'm not a big fan of the big concerts, right? The like big arena shows.
What about Coachella 2007?
Well,
Daft Punk.
There's that, but I'm actually gonna say another show. My wife and I, we had a chance to see Tom Petty, and we were on the fence about it, and we decided, you know what, we'll see him on the next tour. He died, I think, 2 weeks after the show that we were going to go see him at.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yep. And it's funny. You think you have time to see legends like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we saw Cage the Elephant later that year, they actually opened with Last Chance with Mary Jane, which was a beautiful cover. I'm gonna try to find a video and throw it on throw it in the show notes. But it's got to be something like that, you know, where it's like you didn't go and you wish you did. Obviously, Daft Punk 2000, and I think it was actually I think it was 2006
or 6. Yeah, it's Alive 2007 is what I'm thinking, like the
right,
CD version of it. So that makes sense.
Because I think Coachella was the first show. I think Coachella was the test of that set and that lighting format. And from my understanding, it really hadn't been done like that at the time. And obviously, I wish I was there.
And the last tour.
Right. Fuck, that's crazy. 2006.
That one's got to be up there for me. Michael Jackson, Madison Square Garden anniversary, the 30th anniversary or whatever it was, I think, which is still his last actual concert. That would have been insane.
Oh,
that was actually
sure.
2 nights. They edited it to one night, like on the live feed or whatever it was.
You know, I mean, iconic concerts. Rage Against the Machine, who played a Mexico City show, and I think they put it all on YouTube. And man, that show looked like a wild time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then honestly, I kind of wish I had gone to the Big Four metal show that happened.
Same.
In the desert, and I think I didn't have money or something along those lines, and I should have gone, man. I should have gone. It's never gonna happen again. It was a one-time thing. Now I got to look it up.
But that said, you're not a big Metallica fan.
So. I'm not a big Metallica fan.
Big 3 for you.
Yeah, I'm not a big Metallica fan.
I'm sad though.
You know, yeah. So the show was Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax, and yeah, I'm bummed I didn't see that.
Once in a lifetime venue for that type of show too.
And I just want to qualify this. I'm not a Metallica hater. I don't think it's bad music. I think that Lars Ulrich.
You love Saint Anger.
I don't. But I do think that Lars ruins that band. He is afraid to touch his kick drum for some reason in a genre where kick drums and grooves are necessary. He is, and they they transitioned from like pure thrash on Kill 'Em All, which is a great album, to shit like the Black Album, which is the most sold album in America or something like that. It like still sells millions of records a year. Who the fuck is buying this still? And it's I don't know.
Music.
I don't know, man. I buy music all the time, but I definitely don't buy Metallica's music. It's funny because I go into Walmart and I see like albums, like I see like vinyl records and CDs, and like Metallica is always thrown into your fucking face. If you have to throw this artist into my face constantly after 30 fucking years, get over it. Get over yourself.
It's a brand.
It's more of a brand than it is anything. That being said, I do like some of their collaborations. I think they did a Vans collaboration recently, and I know that they did a watch collaboration with somebody. I forget who it was, but it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, back on track.
Back on track here. All right, so you threw this song from the Rex on Freaking Out. I had never heard of the Rex. The song has major Cake vibes for the distance. The lyrics are incredible. It's hilarious. Maybe I should get a poster of Kanye West up and throw it up in my bathroom. Do you think that would let him? Do you think that would make him release Donda a little earlier?
No, I don't think anything on earth will get him to release Donda any earlier.
He said 8/5.
No, I think 8/5 it'll be Thursday night 9 so which is always New Music Friday time.
Right.
It will be 8/5 for us, but it'll be midnight on the East Coast. I didn't want to like this song when I heard it, but I do. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get into this, but once it really gets into its groove, it's good. It's kind of like Cake's a good comparison. I kind of picked up like a weird 21 Pilots meets Hobo Johnson type of vibe from it.
I like
that. It's from an album. I didn't really listen to much of it, but if you like the song, you should probably check it out.
How'd you hear about this?
I think it was a recommended playlist.
Love it.
Yeah, it was like at the bottom where it recommends certain songs after you're done playing something. It was one of those.
Yep. It's
just
funny.
Weird enough for us.
I think we really confuse Spotify's algorithm with our playlist.
Oh yeah.
The radio that comes on is a little weird. We'll get like Willow adjacent stuff, and then we'll get Born of Osiris adjacent stuff, and it's really fun. Speaking of really fun, Underoath's Damn Excuses. It's always a good day for new Underoath. The song fucking rips. Spencer's voice sounds like really good.
Yeah, he's a demon, man.
Like it sounds really good, like almost surprisingly good. It's so crisp. I don't know if it's the production level on the song, but I was like, wow, all right, Spencer, way to show up.
Dude, hearing Spencer Chamberlain force those epic screams out of his tiny ass fucking body is always a good time. Still one of my favorite live bands ever. If you got to see them back in the Chasing Safety or what was the second album called with Writing on the Wall in regards to myself?
I've never seen them. But
oh my God.
I know. I think it's Define the Great Line, right? Yep.
Yes, Define the Great Line. Oh my God. The opening riff to Define the Great Line is one of the greatest riffs in scene history. I've seen them about 4 or 5 times. They were like the Beatles where I was from during the peak of the scene, because we also lived in an area where a lot of the venues were churches, and they were on like a Christian label or had that air about them. They would always do we do this for Jesus Christ talk during their set. So they would get booked at a lot of bigger churches that a lot of other bands wouldn't, and they would have this weird crossover effect of all these like church kids and all these non-church kids. And I saw so many fire codes broken during their shows, dude. They would play all. We're gonna throw a video in the show notes of Underoath live at the Underground Cafe in Roseville, California, and you'll see the exact chaos. I'm surprised I'm here today, honestly. Like, that's how crazy those shows were. Back to this song though. I love it. They're fucking shredding again, but at the same time, I miss them sprinkling in the clean vocals and being a little less serious. But they gave us They're Only Chasing Safety, so they kind of get like a forever pass.
Yeah, it's funny. You say that these are the Beatles of the scene, and I think it's I think that's accurate. I think a lot of people would say it would probably be My Chemical Romance or something along those lines. My Chemical Romance,
in terms of longevity, sure,
to the music that actually defined that scene. People even people who weren't even close to even adjacent to the emo or the scene, right? Liked My Chemical Romance. Like, they're a great rock band. Underoath put out They're Chasing Safety, and they defined a fucking generation. So yeah, I think that's accurate to say. Really like this song. I do wish that they peppered in a couple of clean vocals, but I'm not gonna. I mean, with
especially because Aaron's still in the band, so it's like, why not?
Right. And I'm not going to complain, though. We have a lot of good metal to talk about.
I agree.
We have a lot of metal that came out this month. And, I mean, if it's a metal kind of July, if it's a metal summer, if I need to sweat while we chug out some grooves, I'm cool with that, man. Speaking of groovy, we have Rufus Du Sol releasing a very interesting release in Alive. I think that this is a lot more organic than other Rufus releases. I think that it's less house music and more them, which is weird because they are house. Like, they're a house band. But I really like this song. What did you think about it?
My note says, am I on drugs right now? I know I'm not, but this song makes me wish that I was.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. That's pretty much my takeaway from it.
Yeah, it's an interesting direction for them to go, and I am absolutely here for an entire album filled with songs like Alive. So
yeah, fucking bring it on.
All right. Good metal. Iron Maiden, The Writing on the Wall. How long is this song? It is 6 minutes. I thought it was 9 for some reason, but
felt like it.
I kind of wish it was 9. I love Iron Maiden. I don't know about you.
You still have a soft spot for this, really?
I do, absolutely. All of their music sounds the same. All of their music sounds absolutely the same, but they have a way about them, man. I dig Iron Maiden, man.
Well, this is going to be one of our Siskel and Ebert moments. I'm joking. No, I don't have anything
You're allowed
against
to hate
Iron Maiden.
Man.
I've seen Iron Maiden live, and they were very good. And it was way past prime Iron Maiden, but they were still very good. This song didn't do anything for me, but fucking good for them. Keep rocking on, dude.
So they have a new album being released called Senjutsu. It's out in September. It will be more of the same of literally all of their releases. Dickinson has never changed like the cadence of his voice even a little bit, but I like it. I dig it. All right, so welcome back, Swedish House Mafia.
Fucking 10 years away almost, something like that. Man. 9-10 years.
Wow, and they still have it, man.
They've
holy
evolved.
Shit, they're back. This song is very good. Do you think that the new album that's releasing, Paradise Again, which I think we're getting at the end of next month, will be as iconic as Until Now? I think I texted you that Until Now literally defined 2012 and 2013.
No, it will not be. That's not a slight on it. That's impossible at the moment where music is at. if these are the two singles, and we'll get to the other one later, then I don't think that they're going to get enough radio traction or be like a Greyhound type of situation that's going to have mainstream crossover. But I think they're fucking great, and I think it's going to slowly get them back to the top of the festival scene. I think this song is great. It gets better. Sounds a lot like a Boys Noise Mayday era song, which is probably why I love it so much.
It's very reminiscent of Boys Noise and Mayday.
Yeah, and more people need to use the fucking weird metal spoon sound, because Timbaland and Justin Timberlake did it on Carry Out. They made a banger. Boys Noise did it on Rock the Bells. He made a banger. Seems logical that if you use this sound, you're going to make a banger. So more people take note.
Yeah, exactly. No,
but yes, welcome back, guys. Fucking excited. I didn't know they announced a new album.
They did. It's called Paradise Again. Let me look here. Paradise Again. Swedish House Mafia to release debut album, which is not their debut album. Let's see here. This doesn't have a date. I think it's at the end of next month.
Late 2021. Okay.
Maybe not at the end of the next month. Where was I reading it? Anyways, they have named it. They've announced an album, and I'm excited. The second I heard this song, I immediately needed to listen to Until Now all the way through. Greyhound is iconic. It's just. We'll see. We'll
dude, they were on fire back then. Miami to Ibiza, One, like they were on top of the world.
They were on top of the world. It'll be
interesting to see where this lands them.
You know what's funny is they'll probably go straight to the festival headlines. They'll probably start headlining festivals this year. And quite honestly, after 10 fucking years, I'm not sure that that's necessarily deserved. You there? Johnny? Hello? You there? And I think they're going to be headlining festivals. And after 10 years, John, I think that that's a little undeserved. I actually think that you need to earn it after 10 years. After a fucking decade has gone by, you need to earn it again to headline festivals like that.
I don't know if I fully agree with that, only because it's like, if Carl Cox takes 10 years off and he's coming back to perform, are they going to be like, oh no, you don't go on at 3 a.m.? And it's like, no, you don't tell Carl Cox to not go on at 3 a.m. no matter how long he's been off the stage. So I think there's a level of legend that might get you around that rule, but
yeah.
I
think Carl Cox is a different kind of legend than Swedish House Mafia is, though. Keep in mind, they've only put out one album
that changed electronic music in the mainstream for a decade.
Fair. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I've never seen them, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna go and how.
I saw them at EDC the last year. It was in LA, and they were good live.
The Coliseum shows, huh?
The Coliseum that last year. That's gonna be its own Woodstock '99 documentary one year. I'm telling you, man.
For real. All right. Well, congratulations, Swedish House Mafia. I'm excited to see you guys or hear more music. Welcome back. The next single is Normani, Wild Side featuring Cardi B. This song started off fantastic, and then Cardi B arrived.
Yeah. Normani did her thing here. I'm happy that she released like an actual R&B song and not just another pop song. I like her pop songs, but I'm definitely like more interested in what she can do in the R&B genre. Hopefully she follows this up like in a timely manner, because she releases music so infrequently, but her numbers do she does huge numbers, so it's hard to like criticize what she's doing, I guess. And yeah, I agree. Cardi B is awful on this song, but it's her dick and she wants it now, Brandon. So,
Well, I can't fault her for that. I can't fault her for not being a good rapper. All right, Sid, I think is the next one. Side, something like that.
Sid.
Fast Car, Sid. I enjoyed this.
I fucking love this. This is like probably my R&B song of the month.
All right.
Actually, wait, no, Snow Allegra's album came out this month,
I was
so
gonna
it's up
say.
there. It's up there. But I fucking love Sid. I love this song. I really needed this because she's one of my favorite like current R&B singers. She hasn't released a solo R&B album since 2017.
Nice.
She did an album with the Internet since then. I think that was nominated for a Grammy, which had R&B songs on it, but it's a little bit more groovy and funky, less pure R&B like I like.
Yeah.
I think this might be her best single yet. It's simple, catchy, and she plays the fucking electric guitar on the bridge, which really just puts everything over the top for me.
Yep.
It's not done nearly enough in R&B, and it's always like great. So please make that a thing again.
All right. Yeah. Let's do that. I thoroughly enjoyed this song.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. The music video is pretty great too.
All right. Well, I'll throw a link to that in the show notes after I watch it. All right. We've got a song called "Too Much Sun in L.A." I think you threw this on here for Chica because
Yep.
absolutely kills this verse. Absolutely kills her verse.
Yes, this is, I think, the first feature of hers I've heard in this way, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember any others off the top of my head. The McClenny dude has a decent voice, but it's a kind of generic song. Too Much Sun in LA is literally like playlist bait song title shit. But phenomenal choice of feature, and she fucking kills it. I think her and Tierra Whack is like a dream collaboration for me right now. And dude, she's fucking clicking. I'm really excited to see what she does next.
Yeah, it was very good. McGlenny has a decent voice, but what really shines here is Chica, and I agree with you. Too Much Sun in LA is definitely just probably a very probably one of the most generic song titles I've ever heard. All right.
Yeah.
Next coming up we have Amoeba by Clairo.
Yeah. So I spoke last time we talked, or maybe on our albums of the year so far podcast, and I said like we had some good pop albums coming up, including hers and Billie Eilish's.
Yep.
And Clairo is like, she has a few great songs. Forever, if you've never heard it, you need to listen to that one almost immediately. And then she had another song off her last and debut full-length album called Sofia that did really big numbers on the radio. And I like both of those songs a lot. So I was kind of hoping I would get an album of mostly like the feel of those two songs. And this is the only song that ended up like catching my ear or that I ended up liking. It's produced, the whole album is produced by Jack Antonoff, who's my
nice.
least favorite pop producers. Yeah, nice for people that like Jack Antonoff, but you're much more into like, you're a Swiftie and all of that stuff. He does like the Lord. He's done, I think he's doing the new Lord album.
He's just Brandy not Marsh album.
Yeah, give me Max Martin reading Cosmo and trying to guess what girls think over this any day. But music is subjective, and I'm not really her demographic. Sure. So hopefully her fans enjoy it. What did you think of this song?
So I actually really liked the bass line on this song. It was the chorus was really catchy. It was a really good song.
Yeah. Definitely put her song Forever on your listen to next, because I think you'll love that song.
I will do that. Speaking of a song that I really love, When the Summer Dies by Deadmau5 and Lights. What did you think? I fucking loved this song.
This one I felt like should have been a slam dunk for me, but it didn't hit me yet. It feels like, okay, so here's the argument that I think you can make for either case, and that's that he sounds like 2010 Deadmau5 again.
Big fan.
Exactly, big fan, but it's not 2010 anymore. And I'm interested. Excuse me. I thought that Pomegranate and Bridge by a Light Wave were great indications of like an evolution in his sound and where he's going. And I feel like Channel 43 and Nextra and this song are very like 4x4 equals 12 era, which I love. That's probably my favorite Deadmau5 album. I'm just a little conflicted on how I feel about it so far. But
you're looking for some progression from Deadmau5, and I understand that. That's perfectly valid. I, however, loved Random Album Title, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that I fucking loved this song.
But is he ever gonna release a full length album again? His last one was in 2016.
Who knows?
I mean, he could do a Porter or Swedish House thing at this point.
He could. Well, one of the reasons I love this song is because of Lights. My sister is a huge fan of Lights, and she puts on a pretty fun live show. We're actually going to be talking about Lights later in the podcast a little bit. But
are we? Is she on another song?
We'll talk about it later. But this song is this song with Deadmau5. I love that Deadmau5 is showing Lights some love. And I don't know, man. I understand wanting progression. I think we got it a little bit. And I think that he's just going to be returning to form here and there. I think we're going to get some progression from him. I think that I think that he knows what makes him money, and I think that he is progressing as an artist himself, and I think he just wants to make some money. And if he makes some money by releasing music like this, I'm okay with that. And then if he does a passion like a passion project thing where he releases other music like Bridge on a Light Wave, then that's good. I think we should let it happen, and I think we're going to be surprised if he releases a full length album. I think it's going to be weird, and I like that. And if he releases a bunch of singles around that album that is not weird, then I like that too.
Well said.
Cool. So next we have a. I don't know if you're aware of this, John, but I am a huge Chemical Brothers fan, and
really never knew that.
Yeah, a big fan. Work Energy Principle sounds like something. So they released an album called Brotherhood, and it's kind of like a greatest hits album. I think it was 2009. It might be later than that. But they released an album, and physically, on the physical copy that I have, it does not have this. But they have kind of a B-side to that album called The Electronic Battle Weapons. And this sounds like one of those. In fact, they've been playing Work Energy Principle in their live shows for years. And I was very surprised to hear them release it finally. They haven't announced a new album, and I don't think that this would make it on there, but I like it. And in fact, this is a song that I heard them play at the last time I saw them live in 2018. That I was like, what is this? Like, this is the only thing I don't recognize from them, and here it is. Needless to say, I was like, whoa, it was kind of a blast from the past for a second, and it kind of like turned on all of my all of my memory switches in my brain. Like, you've heard this before. Why have you heard this before if it's new?
Yeah, totally. I did not know any of that. I didn't know they'd been playing it. That's really cool. It's not surprising kind of hearing it. It sounds like a Set song.
It's a really good transitional song. It's a really good way, and I think they play it right after Star Guitar, so they can transition into some more heavy stuff.
Interesting.
Star Guitar is a little atmospheric, and I could be wrong. Somebody correct me. I'll have to listen to one of their sets from the No Geography tour. But yeah, they've been playing it live, and I'm a fan. It is not anything really like the last single that we got from them, which is again, it's. I don't think that if they announce a new album, I don't think that this will make it on there.
Yeah, I don't imagine so either. I think these are just some one-offs they're releasing.
Yep. All right, so Group Love, You Oughta Know. Good cover, bad cover? Does it do justice to the original?
The only person who has ever successfully pulled off a cover of this song is Kevin from The Office during the Margarita Karaoke Christmas party in the Benihana Christmas episode.
Oh, man.
That is my full-length review of this.
I'm dying. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to Kevin covering this song better than one of my favorite bands at the time, Group Love. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think it was fine. Nothing's ever going to really live up to the original, nor will anything ever live up to Kevin Malone.
No, Alanis is fucking amazing, dude. And this song, Ironic, those are staples of the 90s. Like, you can literally feel the 90s when those songs play.
Correct. Moving on, we have Cascade with Hypnotized, another fucking banger. Did you listen to this in the car? Did you feel this song?
I did. I listened to it in headphones first and then in the car on one of my routes the other week, and it slaps. And you need to listen to it on speakers because otherwise it's just a little bit like repetitive. It doesn't really have like pop elements.
That's why I asked. I actually listened to it on my phone speakers while just kind of hanging out outside in the morning one morning, and I thought to myself, this is fine. And then I don't know what drew me back to it, but I got in the car that very same morning and I was like, you know what, let me listen to it again. And whoa. Yeah. Like it's a completely different song. Anybody who wants to listen to this song, please do so on some speakers.
Yeah, you'll miss an entire layer of it if you don't.
Absolutely you will. All right, so I threw this song on this group of songs here. These 4 songs that are coming up. I threw these on at my sister actually sent me these songs and we're like, I don't know if you've heard these, and I hadn't. Illenium doing Paper Thin with the iconic voice himself, Tom DeLonge. What did you think of this?
I thought that it was fine. I thought it was like a decent collaboration, but it's kind of like hard for me to hear Tom DeLonge sing with like mainstream EDM pop music drops to it. That's like really jarring to me for some reason. But other than that, I liked the song. I thought it was good. What about you?
I actually think his voice worked for it. I agree that it's jarring because I mean we basically grew up with his voice. But,
yeah, listen to Family Reunion and listen to this. It's quite jarring, man.
Definitely. No, I thought it worked, and I know you're. I know that bass music is on its way, not out, but like just like out the side door of EDM. I think people who like bass music only like bass music, but I really liked this song. I thought Illenium did a really good job, and I remember seeing a video about Illenium and his production, the way that he produces music, and I remember being impressed.
He's got some major pop potential, like Zed potential in terms of his upper bound limits, and hopefully he gets there.
For sure. All right, so I threw these next 3 songs on here: "Us at the Boat," Y2K2K, and "Bitches" by a group by an artist named Loon or Lun. I don't know how you would pronounce that with the accent. I don't even know if the accent is there for pronunciation or for aesthetic purposes. But I need to know your thoughts on these.
I thought that they fucking slap. These are bangers, dude.
Fantastic,
these are heavy. Right? These are like res caliber bangers. I wasn't a giant fan of the vocals on "Us at the Boat," but that's just a popular vocal style right now. Like, I've adjusted to it on some songs, but I felt like the instrumental was so good that it didn't need it. But at the same time, that's the type of shit that like people who live much more exciting lives and go out partying probably listen to much more than me.
Hey man, I can party anywhere, anytime. So
I would definitely watch your set.
I also got major res vibes from this, and they self-describe as goth bounce. I guess.
Love it.
This is also Lights.
Oh, okay. So I had a feeling you were going to say that for some reason. All right. So that's interesting. I'm glad that she's kind of taken things into her own like hands with production, because she's always been phenomenal at like the synth pop that she grew up with that she kind of came up with in the MySpace era.
Right.
Damn, it's crazy to think that she actually lasted like through the MySpace era to now.
I mean, Suicide
What
Silence did too. So,
what's your favorite Lights song or feature?
I actually think isn't Lights on she's on another Dead Mouse song, right? Is it Bridged? No,
Let me see.
it's another Dead Mouse song that I really
When
really enjoy. It's
I don't know if she is. Is she?
I think that she is, but I actually enjoy Lights. So my sister's a big fan of Lights, and she introduced me to her. I really like.
Did you listen to her back in the MySpace days, or did
Not
you
in the
not find her
MySpace
until
days.
she was like kind of becoming more of a EDM and pop vocalist?
I think my sister showed me Lights back in around the time that you DJ'd her birthday party. So when was that? Like
Oh,
a
okay.
decade ago,
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, probably about 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Definitely. Lights is really good. I remember, like I said, seeing her back in like the MySpace days and following her then. And I liked her voice, I liked her music, but like I think the first song of hers, or feature, I guess, that I listened to a lot was that feature she had on the Bring Me the Horizon album on the song Don't Stop. That was like a
Oh
really,
shit, that is her, huh?
yeah, and that's a phenomenal song. That was a big moment for them too, because that was kind of their first like pop crossover moment, or moment of like really showing that they could do other things other than metal, you know?
Right. Well, I actually like. I think it's Siberia. Is that the name of the album? I'm
Oh,
gonna
that
look at
sounds
it.
familiar.
Yeah, it's Siberia. I like. I think it's where the fence is low. I really like that song from her.
I'll check that out.
It's a good one. You should check out the whole album, Siberia. And if anybody hasn't heard of Lights, because she's in this weird section of music where you've either heard of her and you love her, or you've never heard of her. I got to send a shout out to my sister for introducing me to her. We saw her live at Coachella in one of the tents during the day, and it was really entertaining, man. It was really entertaining. She's puts on a good show. She's got a great voice. She does like a comic book around her music. I mean, she is just a creative outlet, and you gotta love people that just put out like solid content like that, you know.
I agree.
And then I really love this new moniker. All of the songs kind of sound the same, but Y2K2K I think is my favorite of the three. What's your favorite of the three?
I think I'm gonna go Y2K2K too.
All right.
I like that one. It's funny throwing the two at the end,
Yeah, I
but
was just gonna
yeah.
say that sounds a little weird.
But I really liked all three. They're all really good.
Cool. All right, so we have coming up. We have the Flight Facilities "Lights Up" featuring Channel Trace, but we have a remix here. What is this? This is Mouse something or other. Moose
Either like
Tea.
Moose Tea, I
Moose
think.
Tea. No
That's
idea
how
what this is.
yeah, me either. Fucking great remix
Oh,
though.
fantastic.
Our parents have to be surprised as fuck that disco came back like 50 years later, right?
Oh man, it's funny. I don't think it's actually come back yet mainstream. I think that what we are witnessing is the birth of
Yeah.
disco. I even think bell bottoms are coming back, John. So
God help us. But
oh man, well, I really just hope that if disco does come back full time, that we make a better movie than Saturday Night Fever, which is an awful movie. If anybody hasn't seen that,
yeah, Boogie Nights was okay.
I actually like Boogie Nights.
Me too.
I really like this song, and I really like the remix. It's good shit. All right, so we have another Swedish House Mafia. Let's get to it. Lifetime with Ty Dolla $ign and 070 Shake.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? This song is fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, I fucking love it. This is showing kind of like the new weapons they've added to their repertoire. I don't think they would have made a song like this 9-10 years ago.
They wouldn't have.
Whereas the first song felt very Boys Noise to me, this feels like a Giselle song, kind of like Lost in the Fire. That it has almost the exact same like sonics to it, in my opinion. I think 070 Shake and Ty actually do a way better job vocally on this song than I was expecting.
Same. I was kind of, when I heard it was Ty Dolla $ign, I was like, Swedish House Mafia, let's see what they do. But they really made it work. And this song shows how much they've grown in the past decade. So
yeah,
I'm after this song, like, I was already excited for the album, but now I'm like, get here,
dude. We've been blessed. I feel like electronic and dance has been the deepest genre this year so far. We've already had like 5 album of the year contenders, and we're getting Boys Noise still, who we'll get to, and we're getting fucking Swedish House. I'm kind of overwhelmed. It's honestly amazing. I love it.
It feels like 2012 again, because I'm pretty sure, and now I need to check, that Out of the Black was also
yeah, that was another great year. That's like Skrillex, Deadmau5. That was the height of all of that. So that we were getting so much back then too. That was
Out of the Black era. Was 2012. That's funny.
Yep, we got that Out of the Black. I think Benassi put out an album around then.
Oh man,
Swedish House was still together doing festivals in 2012. That was the rainy Coachella year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was a big fan of rainy Coachellas. Now I need to see this here real quick. It was not 2012. Kaleidoscope came out in 2009, but still kind of still kind of that same era.
All right, Fire and Ice around there? Oh, that was probably 2010 or 11.
Fire and Ice was 2013, sir.
Oh, so about that time.
Close,
for sure.
Close. All right, Stay High, Childish Gambino version by Brittany Howard.
He's back.
What a beautiful rendition, man. I genuinely enjoyed this. I'm a huge fan of string instruments, and I think that Donald's voice here shows quite a bit of range. What did you think?
I fucking love it. I was blown away when I saw it like pop up that he did a cover for like a Brittany Howard, I think, album that's coming out. I'm not too familiar with her stuff, but this is fantastic. It's really, really good. His voice has blossomed into something just like so beautiful. Selfishly, I still really miss and want rapping Gambino back, but I love this.
Gambino back.
I think we might get some form of it. Maybe I think we might get a Tyler collaboration eventually, which would be a dream collaboration.
Yeah, man, that would be something really special. I don't think we're ever gonna get rapping Gambino back. Personally, that's just my opinion. And you
think this is America's like the closest to hip hop he comes again?
Or, yeah, because I think he did it. I think that he's not one to do things that he's mastered twice.
Have you ever heard Monster with him and 21 Savage?
Yes.
Okay, so that's probably the last time he rapped on a song.
Yep.
And he clearly can still do it without much effort, but we'll see if he ever does again.
We'll see. This song was fucking beautiful though, and regardless of where he chooses to go with his music, he has shown that he is a musician through and through. So I'm excited to hear more from him as always. As is
Troy
tradition.
Barnes. Yep.
Speaking of something else that I'm very excited to hear something new from, Thrice put out Scavengers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. The whole fucking band shows up every single time they release music. Every single one of these people are just wonderful musicians. What did you think of the song?
So I'm not a big Thrice guy. I thought the song was fine. I feel like
you did hear them drumming on this song, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of what they've contributed to music, like the hits, Artist in the Ambulance, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I've just never been a big fan of theirs outside of that. I remember going to a concert. I can't remember for who, and I had to watch like 2.5 hours of Thrice, who I was not a big fan of at the time, and it was like just one of those experiences that like soured me on them a little bit. But I thought the song was good.
I see. Well, I enjoy Thrice, and I think that this band, I think that they're filled to the top with just really great musicians. I got the chance to see them live at Taste of Chaos, and with my family actually, and they killed it, man. So I don't know what show you went to, but you and you know what, man? The best part about all of this is that you're allowed to be wrong, and I'm gonna let you be wrong. Okay?
Yes.
So
Much like you were with Radiohead for years.
fair. Honestly, I still don't like them, but I don't.
Fucking crazy, man.
I don't actively hate them anymore. For hyperbolic effect. So Idols put out a Model Village remix with Slow Tie, which you know, it's funny. I don't think that Slow Tie adds anything to the original song, and I don't think he detracts anything from the remix. I think that it's just another version of this song, and it's very good. What do you think?
Idols might be to me what King Cruel is to you.
You know, man.
And it breaks my heart to say that, but I feel like you can understand it.
I get it. I get it. They are honestly, man. It took me probably about 10 listens to get into Idols. I actually had to like look up their lyrics and be like, oh, I get it now. Take your time, or don't like them or whatever.
Oh no, keep adding it, but yeah, this one still didn't like grab me and make me a fan yet. So I'm waiting for that moment.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm a big fan of Idols. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and throw their Tiny Desk concert in the show notes, because anybody who is on the fence about Idols needs to watch that and still tell me you don't like them. All right, so moving on, we have Coheed and Cambria released a new song called Shoulders. That riff is amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. That riff is crazy, John.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds like Coheed and Cambria. He's one of the best fucking guitarists of the last 20 years, without question.
Yeah, he's it's very good. I'm excited for the album. My brother-in-law is a huge Coheed and Cambria fan, and he has he kind of pushed me towards what to listen to kind of get into them. And quite honestly, Claudio's voice takes a little bit for me to adjust to. But you and I have actually had this conversation already, and I don't know if you remember, and I'm not even sure of the show that we went to, and I definitely know it wasn't anything even adjacent to the Coheed and Cambria sound. I think it was the Boys Knows show maybe that we went to. Anyways, we listened to Coheed and Cambria the entire way back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And Claudio's voice is a little weird for me to get into. However, once I sit down and like actually listen to the music, this band fucking rips, man. And this song is no exception. And I'm very excited for what else they release. Should be getting a few singles and then an album.
Yeah, and just because you brought up that night. Fantastic pizza in San Diego, people. Fantastic pizza.
Oh wow, that was that was.
Oh no, L.A. That was the Mayan.
Yeah, it was. I think that was a different show because.
No, that was the Mayan.
Yeah, that was the Mayan.
We saw Black Gummy in San Diego.
Right, and we got pizza.
Monster Get Down.
Yep. We got pizza after that show. Yeah, the Mayan show was crazy, man. I headbanged.
Dude.
I didn't think I could headbang for about 2.5 hours straight, but turns out I proved myself wrong.
Oh, and he's releasing plenty more to headbang too. So
we're getting to that. We're almost there. All right, so Quicksand put out a very interesting song. It's a little different from what they're used to, called Brushed. I think that this is really good. It's not something I expected from Quicksand. I expect kind of heavy guitar based grunge music from them. And while this is guitar based grunge music, it's not quite the tempo at which I expect Quicksand to release music in. But I fucking loved it. What did you think?
Um, I didn't really. I thought it was good. I didn't really have like an opinion on it. I didn't like it or dislike it.
Fair.
I thought it was fine. They do have an album coming out, so we'll
Sure
check that
do.
out when it drops. But this isn't like a song that really stood out to me a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can impress me in over the course of a full album.
If you are if you are interested at all, they put out an album in '93 called Slip, and an album in 2017 called Interiors. Both albums are perfect examples of why I love Quicksand so much.
I clicked into their profile and saw they were like back from the 90s and listened to a few things, but I'll definitely dig in a little more.
You know, they took a hiatus for a long time, and then they released Interiors in 2017. Actually, I think there was one before Interiors. I could be wrong. No, that was it. They released Interiors in 2017. No, I think there was an EP. I think I'm tripping. Nope. Trip to Continuum was after Interiors, so I was correct. But yeah, they put out some really good grunge music. I highly recommend them. They're fun.
Definitely.
We were promised Jetpacks, Fat Chance. I love this band, man. I think they're Scottish or Irish. I think they're Scottish, and just really good, fun, generic indie rock. But you know, somebody's got to do the generic indie rock, and if you do it really well, I'm definitely gonna listen.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's not common for me to like align with you on indie, but you're right. It's like good generic indie rock with like a good groove to it. I thought it was a good song.
It's like so you get generic bands, right? You got generic bands like I'm gonna call the Foo Fighters generic rock and roll, like,
Yes,
and they do it so fucking well that somebody's got to do it, man. If you do it well, and somebody's got to do it, I'm gonna listen.
correct. Same.
So we have a new Khalid, which I'm assuming you were very excited about when this popped or when this dropped. This song kind of sounds like a glass of wine. It sounds like how a glass of wine tastes at 11 p.m.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's what I wrote down. That's what my notes say. So
Hey, I agree. I like it. I like it, but I'm not blown away by it. I think I know he's capable of more than this, but I feel like he's playing it safe for like a first single. He hasn't said that this is for an album rollout or not. He's one of the top like 20 most streamed artists in the world on Spotify, so he doesn't probably need to take advice from me. Um, it's got the like classic Khalid drum sound on it and his like trademark layered harmonies. Uh, I think it's really cool to see how fast he's growing as an artist with every release. He has multiple songs with over 1 billion plays, and he's only 23 years old.
really, I
So
did
I
not
think
know
he's
that.
going to be
Today I
around.
learned.
Yeah, I think he's going to be around for a long time, despite despite how many releases he's had so far. Like they don't dip in quality, even if they're a little generic. So
Yep.
I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, he's number 19 in the world. That is impressive, my boy.
That's fucking wild.
Moving along, we have a song called "Alone with You," Alina Baraz.
Yeah.
That sax though, man, this song is smooth as fuck. It's not my typical jam, but I didn't dislike this song at all.
Yeah, sax is like electric guitar and R&B. It can just fucking make any like decent song in that genre fucking great if used properly. I really like the instrumental and the vibe of this song. I wasn't crazy about the like vocal chop hook on it. She actually got onto my radar because she has a few collaborations with Khalid. I think like 3 songs together.
Interesting.
Um, and yeah, they kind of like started coming up at the same time. She's a very solid R&B singer, but nothing spectacular yet. But definitely worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on her, and I'm a big fan of that saxophone.
Same.
Another song I'm a big fan of is this next song, "Better Believe" by Belly the Weekend, featuring Young Thug, and the song goes fucking hard, man.
You're a fan of the whole song or just the weekends part?
Just the Weekend's part.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Young Thug. I can't get into him. I've actively tried to figure it out. People have told me that he was supposed to be the next Lil Wayne, and if you listen to his old music, he was rapping like Lil Wayne, and no, man, I can't do it. And every time I hear his voice, I cringe. But I like The Weeknd.
I love that. Yeah, I think this is like a fine weekend song. It's kind of like just one of his generic collaborations.
But
I
that's
thought it was fine. He's good. You give him like a minute and a half to do his thing and the hook throughout the song, and it feels more like a weekend song. So it's not going to be bad. But I don't know. I don't think I'll return to it.
I probably won't either. But it was fun. It was fun to listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Um, it's a Boys Noise summer, John. It's a Boys
It
Noise summer.
is. It's a hot boys noise summer.
I am so happy that we have an album announcement, that we have new singles. Let's get into it, man. Nude featuring Tommy Cash is holy shit, man. I didn't think I'm sorry. He really did this. He really took his all of the styles that he makes and put them together in one song. And it fucking works. You wouldn't expect for it to work, but it fucking does, and it's very good. Very,
Here,
very, very good.
yeah, very, 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 very good. This is like one of my favorite Boys Noise songs. Um, we've been
Beautifully
waiting for
heavy.
this moment for so long. I text you instantly when like
Exactly.
it got announced and all of that.
He moved.
Yeah, exactly. The clock, it moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Definitely my favorite two songs since Mayday. You can tell he's fucking ready to destroy some stages and warehouses again.
Oh man.
It'll be interesting to see like where this song lands all time or in his discography even. Express Yourself, another fucking mind-bending floor shaker. We have over a month to go, so I don't know, but this is probably my most anticipated for like the fall.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited for New Boys Noise album, and so Express Yourself is very good. I actually think I like part two better. Did you give part two a
I
listen?
did give part two a try. I wonder if that'll be on the album or not,
I,
but
I
I thought it was good.
I think that it's very interesting that there even is a part two. But yeah, Nude is fantastic. I agree. He's gonna just fucking rip up some venues. Really doesn't matter where he plays. Here's to hoping for a shrine show in Los Angeles. I just wanna be sweaty with a bunch of Boys Noise fans again. Um,
I hear
I
it.
I I I'm blown away, absolutely blown away. The music video for this also is for Nude. I'm gonna throw that in the show notes. It's fantastic. Like it's really good.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's fucking
it's
great.
absolutely hilarious, and there's layers to this dude, man. He's gonna put out a fucking ripping album, and I'm excited because it kind of feels like Justice's 3 album run. You get Cross, you get Audio Video Disco, and then you get Woman. Cross
Hmm.
and Audio Video Disco are very different, but Woman kind of puts that together. I feel like he put Out of the Black, and then he put out Mayday, and I think that this album is going to be the Woman of Boys Noise, which will be kind of a blend of Out of the Black and Mayday music. And I'm also very curious what he's going to do with his live rig. Do you think he's going to change it? Do you think he's going to make a new one? Do you think
Yeah.
he's going to do a live set for this? Or do you think he's just going to tour like a DJ set like he did for Out of the Black?
Out of the Black was the Skull set, right?
It was. And I think
Yeah, yeah. I think he'll do a new rig. Every new album seems to have a new rig, so
the skull was
I
really cool.
yeah, the Skull, and then we saw like the Siren one. We'll
Yeah.
see, but I think so.
Yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Same.
Um, Wow. Okay. Another thing I'm very excited about is Between the Buried and Me. They put out this single Revolution in Limbo. What did you think of this?
It's epic, it's heavy, it's technical, it's everything they do best.
It's everything that they do best. They kind of have us in the first half, and then they change it up a little bit, and then they tie it in at the end. Fuck, man, this song is so good.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Pure. It's the perfect combination between absolute chaos and pure bliss.
Well said.
Thank you. So I don't know if you listened to this in order, but I did, and it was very weird going from
That's my note, dude. That's my note too. I was like, I don't know if it's because I listened to this after Between the Buried and Me, but this is just too slow for me right now.
Oh man, I had to adjust. I actually had to take my headphones off and go like take a break and then come back because I am a huge The War on Drugs fan, as you know, and yeah, I really like this song. He has a new album coming out, and I think that The War on Drugs is highly underrated for a lot of reasons. I think that if this music released in 1978, they'd be touring, like double headlining with Pink Floyd.
Interesting.
I think that they are beautiful musicians, and I'm very excited to see what happens with the new album. What did you think?
Well, after adjusting my ears to it, I thought it was
Right.
good. I've never been like a giant fan, but I think you're right. They are underrated, and I thought this was good.
Cool, man. Cool. Things I did not think is good. Zoo put out a song called Monster.
Yeah, this kind of felt like a throwaway. I'm glad it wasn't on his last album.
Yeah, this song is garbage.
Yeah, throw it in the trash.
Although something that people probably won't throw in the trash, he did release some slides, some sandals. Did you end up copping any of the Zoo sandals?
I'm so far out of the Zoo merch game at this point. I don't even pay attention to it
I
'cause
absolutely
it's so
hate
fucking
it. I absolutely hate
overpriced.
it, man. It is just. And I think they were $50 or something like that. It's like, bro, if you're gonna release slides, charge $20 for them. But
Bro, I can go to the grocery store down the street and get Nike slides for $20.
right, like I don't know what you're doing, man. But they sell out instantly. He just recently did a run of re-releases of all of his albums, repressing of all of his albums on vinyl. And I kind of wish I had gotten one of them, but I'm actually just gonna forever boycott.
Did he do the Genesis series?
He did.
Oh, wish I would have known about that.
It sold out in seconds, so even
Yeah,
if you
sure.
did, you just would have been disappointed.
It's my favorite Z release for sure.
I mean, absolutely, and but I think I'm just gonna forever boycott the way that he's marketed himself. I'm gonna enjoy the releases that he puts out as it is, and I'm gonna enjoy his mixes. I really enjoyed his set he did for Cercle. I can throw that in the show notes. It's a good one, but yeah, I was kind of bummed with this one.
Yeah, I agree.
So. Moving on, we have Kiana Lede and Kelani. This is not my scene, my man.
Yeah, I like both their voices, but the song was boring, and I was like, maybe I still haven't recovered from Between the Buried and Me.
Fair, and the fact that they have that much influence on your life, my man, it says something.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that song either.
No, it's not my scene. What is very much my scene though is the Linda Lindas with O. Where did this band come up for you?
So they went viral like a month or two ago because they did like a library performance at their school. These are like super young girls. I want to say like
cool.
12 years old.
Oh, fun.
And they are Asian, and they like tell a little preamble at the beginning about how like some like boy at their school pretty much said like he couldn't hang out with them because they're Asian and like they're stupid or something. So they wrote a song called Racist Sexist Boy, and it's like super fucking heavy, and they performed it like in a library in their town, and the video of it went viral. We'll throw it in the show notes.
That is absolutely fantastic.
And right afterwards, like all these like bands like I don't want to say band names because I can't remember exactly who, but giant bands and record labels were like, we'll hook you guys up with instruments, like recording gigs. And I think this is their first like song that they've professionally recorded since going viral. But they're literally just like middle school girls.
That is fantastic, and they have so much energy, and I'm absolutely here for that.
Yeah, put them on tour with Mannequin Pussy right now.
Yeah, man, and I'm sure that boy who couldn't hang out with them or felt like he couldn't hang out with them probably feels really dumb right now. You big dumb dude.
Yep. Fuck him.
Okay, so moving on to something that is not 12-year-old appropriate. Marion Hill put out OMG. She's so fucking good, man. Her beats are all so chill and hype at the same time. Is that a piccolo? Do I hear a piccolo in this song? Jesus, it's so good.
They're one of the few groups that can make a million songs that all sound the same, and I'm completely fine with it.
Absolutely cool with it.
Yep, but I like it. Hopefully we get an album.
Yeah, same. All right, next single is another strong female influence in my life, Jinjer. Put out Mediator. What'd you think?
I thought it was fucking super heavy. Her voice is super metal as always, but the driving is really what drives. The drumming is really what drives this song.
Dude, my notes literally just say, "Holy shit, these drums are next level."
Yeah, that dude was on one that day. He had an extra Red Bull or something.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the show notes. They actually shared a video on their YouTube of them tracking these drums for the album. So I'll throw that in there.
And that album is coming soon, I believe.
It sure is. I believe it is 8/4. So that's next week.
All right, so should we get the plagiarism lawyers to talk about this next one?
So, do you hear it?
I do.
It's the same song, just different.
Should we explain to the listeners what we're talking about?
So, Sam Paganini is number one. I love the Bianca song. He put out the single Bianca/One, and Bianca is one of the songs, and then One is the other song. One is an 8-minute song that is very reminiscent, and in fact, I was actually writing as I was listening to it, and I write down major Chemical Brothers vibes. He's not near as good, but I'm glad he's trying. And then in all caps, I write down, wait, this is the Chemical Brothers. It is, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and accuse Sam Paganini right now of plagiarizing Escape Velocity by the Chemical Brothers, because holy shit, the similarities on this are so just glaring, man. It's glaring that it's the same song, just different.
I agree with you, but for the sake of him, I'll play devil's advocate.
It's different.
I feel like his most successful song is Rave, and I feel like he's trying to recreate Rave in a different way. And I don't think he's doing it successfully, but I think that's what happened here.
That's fair. Rave is a fucking banger, number one. But I mean, I feel like,
again, I agree with you. That's just the only argument I can think of.
I can't get over it, man. I heard it and I was like, wait a second. This is Escape Velocity.
Yep.
So, everybody, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you listen to One by Sam Paganini and then Escape Velocity by the Chemical Brothers, or doesn't even need to be in that order. Both of these songs back to back, and you tell me if they are too similar or not. You tell us if you think that Sam did a little oopsie here. I personally think that he did, and I'm so weirded out by it, man. It super threw me off, and I really liked Bianca though. And I just want to, for his sake, say that I was not expecting what came out of Bianca. I was expecting something more like Rave with a 4/4 beat, and this is not that. I really dig it, and it's ethereal and it's kind of groovy, and I really like it. I'm glad I clicked on this release because it's given me some entertainment and some of the willies for being so eerily similar to one of my favorite Chemical Brothers songs.
I agree, 100%.
Toki Monster and Channel Trace. Are we still on the diminishing returns thread for Channel Trace features?
Yeah, this one didn't work for me.
Same.
I was disappointed by it, and I love both of them. I just
Right.
don't think this was the one. I think that they should have gone with a different vibe altogether. It's a little repetitive. Channel doesn't shine here. She's capable of much more, like the last song she did with Van Jess. Yeah, just didn't work for me.
It's not the best song. It's not the worst song. It's just there, and I think I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
What is a fucking fantastic song though is "Skate" by Bruno Mars, Anderson Paak, and Silk Sonic. Fuck man,
Yes.
it's great.
Yeah, does anybody actually call them Silk Sonic?
I don't think so. Why would you?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it makes sense, but like at the same time, I don't think anybody's actually called them that. Like just that. Like, oh, did you hear that new Silk Sonic song? Like it's always like, did you hear that
Right.
new Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak song?
Right.
Anyways, that little stupid OCD nitpick aside, I thought this is fucking great. I think that it's gonna be 2054 by the time this actual album fucking comes out. I
They're busy
they
guys, John.
no, they're not. They are not. They're doing a bunch of cocaine in a weird 70s studio with a bunch of women everywhere.
I
Um,
would argue that that might be considered busy. Just saying.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, they rode the success of Leave the Door Open to the moon and back, and it seems like they're finally ready to get back to work. I don't know if we're gonna get this album this year, but I do think if it drops this year, it's a real contender for pop album of the year for sure.
It is. This song blew me away. It's.
Yeah.
I. We're here. We're getting more disco. Look, man. Roller rinks are gonna come back. Bell bottoms are gonna come back. I think. I think I'm fucking here for it. And if they. And if a roller rink doesn't play this song, then they be big dumb. All right. So the next single is Jungle Truth. Every single one of these singles have been fantastic. I am very excited for the album.
Yeah, they might be releasing too many singles, but I agree. They've all been fucking great. Isaiah Rashad released like 3 singles the week his album dropped, so I don't. I guess this is just where the industry's going a little bit.
If you're gonna
I've
release 4 or 5 singles, your album better be 15 songs plus.
Yep, and we were talking about Boys Noise and Swedish House earlier. Like, definitely make some room for Jungle because they're going to be in the top 10 at the end of the year too.
I think they will be. I think so. Wow, it's good. It's gonna be the contenders for album of the year this year are surprisingly. It's gonna be hotly debated. I think
Yeah,
between everybody, and I'm very interested. Very interested to see what the year holds. So Elderbrook featuring Bob Moses, Inner Light. I had never heard of Elderbrook before. This is a really good track, man.
yeah, it's a fucking jam. It's like a really good night drive song.
Exactly. It's very good. I enjoyed it. Big Bob Moses fan.
Yeah,
What did you think of Newfound Glory's Backseat?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was really catchy pop punk. I think it would have been a big hit in like 2005. I What's up?
I was just gonna say you just got to commend Newfound Glory for still doing it for the scene.
Yeah, they sound like kids, like, and they're almost 40 years old. So I'm almost 35 and still sing this type of shit at the top of my lungs at least once a day. So I'm happy they're still making music and having fun.
I'm so happy about that, man. It feels so reminiscent and still new. So I think it's really good shit.
I agree.
So I threw this really neat synth pop song on here called Black Marbles Somewhere.
Hmm.
Holy shit, man! Very
Yeah, this was
good.
kind of your curveball of the month, I suppose.
Very good, man.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like a modern version of 80s synth pop, but it was really good. It works.
I love it. I think we talked about it, or maybe we didn't. Black Marble put out an album called "It's Immaterial" in 2016, and it's a very good album. I highly recommend that. And that kind of got me started on listening to them. And this is a new release. We have a new album coming out from Black Marble, so we'll be reviewing the singles and the album as it drops. And I think that's going to do it for the singles.
Definitely.
All right. So at this point in time, this would be a chance for any sponsors to come in and sponsor the albums that we're about to review. But since that's not happening, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Beabadoobie.
Yep. What do you think of this?
I like how they named it Our Extended Play. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Let me find my notes here. Let me go back because it was actually I think we put this on the day the playlist started this month.
Yes.
This is fun. It's almost nostalgic for some reason. I don't really know what reason that is. But the intro to Cologne is really cool. Animal Noises is my standout. It's a really good song. It's a quick little EP and it's really enjoyable. I gave it a 7 out of 10. What did you think about this?
Thought it was great EP. Thought Cologne was like the perfect fusion of pop rock and grunge. I loved every song for its own reason, and I'm really glad that she's like become much more than just the girl that was sampled in the Cup of Coffee for Your Head song that was all over the radio last year, and is like really making her type of 90s like early 2000s pop rock.
Yeah, she's blowing up. She's blowing up on the indie threads, on some of the forums and some of the obscure magazines that I try to find music on.
Her full length album that came out I think last year, Fake It Flowers, was really fucking good, and this is just continuing that road. I gave it a 7 out of 10 too, and
nice.
Cologne was my standout track.
Cool. Well, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I liked Animal Noises a little bit more than I liked Cologne, but we'll call that what it is. All right. Are you a big Cautious Clay fan?
I'm not. No.
Okay. This is a 5 out of 10 for me. What did you think before I gave you my thoughts?
I thought if you've heard his like previous like kind of radio hit Cold War, you knew he was kind of boring and like not a very, you weren't expecting much. And with that said, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by the songs Shook and Karma and Friends. I felt like those were both really, really solid and surprising, honestly, in terms of what I thought he could do. But beyond that, it just felt like fucking generic Netflix rom-com music type of shit to me. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's a decent effort. It's just not remarkable. And Shook is definitely my standout track from it.
Okay. Well, I really liked that. I really like it when I hear classical instruments used in a contemporary way. That I will give this album. It was well produced.
Yeah, he uses like some trumpet in there once in a while.
Yeah, the jazz elements are really cool. As you
those
know,
are really cool. It's just I feel like vocally there's too many similarities between him and Khalid right now, and he needs to differentiate himself.
Yeah, I agree. It's just not my jam. I gave it a 5 out of 10. My standout was actually Whoa. I think I liked that song.
Interesting.
Yeah. Here we're gonna go ahead and dive into some metal now. This month started out really metal heavy, and we're gonna go through a handful of metal albums now. So let's start with Out the Gates, The Nightmare of Being. What did you think of this album?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was fucking epic. It was theatrical. It was relentless. They like go to a little bit of a goth rock sound once in a while. The full-on orchestra moments are fantastic.
Those cellos are fucking wild, man.
The Touched by the White Hands of Death is my standout track, and it's because of the entire way that it just comes together. There's a fucking guitar solo on almost every song, so it's like, how can you hate that? Right. I thought it was good. You and I both had spoke about how his vocals were a little rough kind of in some of the singles, but it didn't like really affect the album as a whole. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I really liked it.
It didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to. So it is hard for a death metal group to put out an album and have it not be compared to At the Gates and their release of Slaughter the Soul back in '95. It is. That is such a seminal moment in death metal history. In fact, this release of The Nightmare of Being got me pulling out my my death metal history book and kind of looking through it and seeing where they fit on everything. And I love this shit. So I thoroughly enjoyed this album. It was fun. And while any death metal artist putting out an album gets compared to Slaughter of the Soul, At the Gates especially so, because they released it, right? They released a perfect piece of death metal history and a solid 10 out of 10 death metal album. And so how can you not compare something that they put out to that? I was just really excited to see these guys start popping up on my release radar.
Yeah.
This album is very good. They did a lot of things right. The riffs are fresh. They don't really stray too far from what they're known for. The breakdowns and the guitar solos are fucking amazing. I really love the way that they experimented on this album. I really like the experimentation. The Garden of Cyrus, they have that build into a fucking saxophone.
Yep.
What? Like
that was almost my standout until I got touched by the white hands of death.
I just like, what the fuck, man? And then it's weird for a saxophone to be featured on a death metal album and cellos too, but I fucking loved it, and it just super worked for them. On Touched by the White Hands of Death, those cellos are just fucking crazy, man. It's unexpected, but I really liked it. I wonder how they're going to pull some of this off live. Do you think they're going to have live instrumentalists on stage? Do you think they're just going to play a recording? If I were them, I would just play a recording.
Yeah, I think just a recording.
Yeah, traveling with cellos and shit sounds bad. Look, his vocals are hoarse, but it doesn't detract from the album at all. I actually gave it a 9 out of 10. My standout is actually the Abstract Enthroned. I liked that song a lot.
Great song.
Overall, this album fucking ripped.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think I listened
enjoyed
to
it
it
a lot
about,
more than I thought.
I think I listened to it about 10 times.
That's a really good amount.
All right, so I was actually really excited for moving on for the next album, but it kind of didn't do it for me, man, as much as I wanted it to. Defocus put out an album called In the Eye of Death, We Are All the Same, and I found this band, and I was really excited to hear what else they had, and it didn't do everything that I wanted it to do. It's good. It's super fucking heavy, which I love. Why do I kind of want to call it like traditionally heavy? I did enjoy it. It just, there's nothing revolutionary here. There's no experimentation, and maybe it's because I listened to it right after I listened to At the Gates album, where you've got a bunch of old dudes doing a bunch of new shit, and on Defocus you've got a bunch of new guys doing a bunch of old shit. So, whatever. My standout was Diverge. I gave it a 7. What are your thoughts on this one?
I thought that it's good metalcore, and I think you're right. It is the heaviest album this month, and that includes At the Gates and Born of Osiris. So that says something. It is very much old shit. It's like I Killed the Prom Queen, Parkway Drive type of shit. But I do think they do it well. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10 too. My favorite song was Diverge. I enjoyed it. I probably won't go back to it, but I thought it was good.
I listened to it maybe twice, just like a first listen through, and then I wrote down my review, and haven't felt the need to go back. So there's that.
Yeah, I'll leave it there.
So shifting gears from metal to definitely not metal, you threw on an album by Michael Jackson. Can you talk about this?
Sure. So it was a very slow music week and one of the first weeks of the month, and I don't even think an album came out that I liked enough to review that week. So I asked Brandon if we could review a very slept on album, which is Michael Jackson's Invincible from I think 2001 is when it came out. This album cost $30 million to make. It's the most
Fuck.
expensive album of all time, largely forgotten due to the time in his career when it was released. Very much ahead of its time in terms of fusing like dubstep into mainstream pop at times. Was using early forms of dubstep 10 years before it was popular. Um, Spawned what is probably the last great Michael Jackson song, "You Rock My World," with the now famous Chris Rock sample slash feature thing at the beginning.
Yep.
He performed that at that last concert at Madison Square Garden, which I think was the only song off the album he performed during the 2 night thing. And he never toured around the album, which sucks. The Biggie Smalls verse, which I'm sure you noticed on the first song, Unbreakable, very interesting. That was a Biggie Smalls song or a verse recorded for a song with Shaquille O'Neal called "You Can't Stop the Rain" that actually had come out. Michael just bought it.
You're lying.
He just bought the verse and put it on a song because he liked it. Fucking legend. He is still super sharp vocally here. It's really a shame we didn't get a tour for it because I would have loved to have seen like the choreography he would have come up with. I think it's one of the best pop albums of the 2000s, and I hope it gets its flowers. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think "You Rock My World" is the best song on it, but I'm interested in hearing what you think of it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you threw this on here. It's genuinely a really good listen. I thought that he had collaborated with Biggie Smalls. Apparently, that was wrong. He just bought the verse. Interesting. So
Yep.
I did a little bit of Googling, and apparently, Heartbreaker is apparently the first. The birth of dubstep, which I don't think is real, but people on some Michael Jackson forums, which I ended up on, which is a funny place to end up on, is
Yeah.
they cite Heartbreaker as the start of dubstep, which is an interesting way to look at things. But I did really like Heartbreaker. So I'm actually going to disagree with you a little bit. I didn't like this as much as I wanted to. I really wanted to like it more than I did. And if anybody except for Michael Jackson put this out, I don't think that it. I don't think that it would have gone anywhere. I think he was trying to set trends, and I think that happened, which is great. I'm not a big fan of all the ballads, man. I like Michael Jackson ballads. I don't think that I like 7 of them on one album. And I think that there's plenty of good music on this album, and it was genuinely a good listen. I probably won't go back to it much. I gave it a 6 out of 10. My standout is actually Heartbreaker. Also, the Carlos Santana song is fucking neat.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'm just such a giant fan of his that I give it much more of a pass than a lot of people would. But he spent $30 million to discover some new sounds that have been used in music for the last 20 years. So that's pretty cool. But I agree, it's not the birth of dubstep. But there are elements of these songs and of this album that are so far ahead of its time, it's crazy.
I think it's funny. I think that this is a music industry album more than it is a music listener album.
Yeah, this is also just a mad genius type of thing, like a guy with too much money and time.
Yeah, that dude had a little bit too much money.
And he also wasn't able to adjust to modern pop in the sense of like 3.5 minute songs.
Oh, you mean the thing he created, modern pop?
Well, yes, but he also likes.
Well, yes,
I
but
think,
actually, no.
I feel like these are all live versions of these songs. They're too long. He needed to like do radio friendly versions of these, and maybe the album would have had a shot. But other things in his life started to become much more troubling and gossip worthy. So
You know,
We'll just leave it at that.
I can't go anytime anybody or myself when somebody says this is it. I can't help myself. It just comes out. Somebody says this is it. I say Michael Jackson's final tour. So
Yep. Great movie.
So moving on, we have Born of Osiris, Angel or Alien, and somebody posted a song, I think on Reddit or something like that. I clicked on it and I was like, oh, okay. Turns out I really like this this version of Born of Osiris. I'm not a big Born of Osiris fan. I thought that they were generic. I thought that they were trying to do something that they couldn't quite grasp conceptually on a lot of their different albums. But this one fucking hit for me. This one did it. They kind of. I'm just a big. I'm a big fan of all of the brass instruments that are happening in metal lately. Number one. The end of Poster Child has some smooth sax. They really kind of went out of their comfort zone here. They did some experimentation, and I think it's really neat. They've really utilized unique instrumentation throughout the entire album, I think, and I ended up giving this one an 8 out of 10, and I liked Crossface a lot. What did you think of the Born of Osiris album?
I was expecting it to be really good because you like text me and were like, "Can I add another metal album?" And I
Sorry,
was
man.
like, "Yeah, of course." I thought it was awesome. It's heavy. Of course, the song that sounds like a Game of Thrones sword is my favorite, Oathbreaker. They've mastered the whole polysynth metal sound, and for as heavy as it is, it's really anthemic at times.
Right.
I would absolutely be all about a Born of Osiris Devil Wears Prada tour.
Ooh, especially after they just released that last one.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that
think
would be
that's the
good.
move right now.
That double headline with like with like local bands opening for them. I think that's
Yeah,
the move. That's
yeah,
the move, man.
that's a monster right there.
Sick. All right. I think we're moving on to the album of the month. Vince Staples released his self-titled fuck.
Yep, that's pretty much how it hit me too,
There's no
man.
words, dude. It's so good. I actually didn't like the only song I'm not a fan of is actually the single he put out, Law of Averages. Every other song fucking slaps.
Interesting. I feel like it works better within the context of the full album
It
than it
does.
did as a single.
It does.
Yeah, but I agree. That's the one of the weakest links of the album, but even then, it's just by comparison.
His flow is just incredible, man.
Yeah, this is his most personal album so far, produced entirely by Kenny Beats. So he did an interview I was actually listening to before our conversation, a Drink Champs interview you can find on YouTube. And he was talking about how late last year he was like started working on an album with The Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt, and he didn't say it was directly because of this, but he's like, those guys get high a lot and I don't smoke. So like I was doing 30 verses on 30 different beats and they're still like barely keeping up. And he was like, I just work at a faster clip than that. And Kenny Beats hit him up and was like, yo, come to the crib and we'll fucking do this right now. And so
Sick.
they've made this album late last year together. Um, he has another album, he said almost done and coming out hopefully this year called Ramona Park Broke My Heart. He said the name isn't really indicative of the sound. He just thought it sounded cool, which is a very Vince Staples thing to say.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see if that's a group of various producers or if it's some of the Alchemist Earl Sweatshirt stuff or something else.
It may be all of those.
Yeah, that which I'd be cool with.
For sure.
To kind of break it down a little bit, I thought "Are You With That" is a perfect opener for this album.
Perfect.
A little so different from like modern hip hop, but just on brand enough to keep you going. Like I said, Law of Averages much better in the context of the album than as a standalone single.
Yep.
Take Me Home, my standout track from the album, and the only credited guest vocals from Fouché. Definitely the most lush production, the most expensive sounding song on the album. and some of his most personal lyrics that I've ever heard for sure. I really like this one. There's a fucking Leave It to Beaver sample on one of the songs. And he closes out the album with the track which is probably the closest we get to like a classic Vince Staples banger on the album. But kind of back to that interview I was watching, like realizing the level he works at is so intentional and different. He says in that interview that he created Big Fish Theory just to be synced for movies.
What?
Yeah, so after his first album, he realized like North North and the other songs that did well were kind of like the bassier, distorted ones. So he started like looking at movies, and I guess he got hit up by Call of Duty, and they had him record a song, and they like paid him more for that song than he got paid for his entire first album. So he's like, fuck yeah, of course I'll do it. He got paid all that. They still didn't use it. And so once the contract was up for it, FIFA bought it. So he got paid for the song again. They didn't use it. So eventually it ends up getting put on I think the Spider-Man Miles Morales movie soundtrack. And that's his song that's on there. And so he's learned he can make a fuckload of money off soundtracks. So he went back and he said he like watched Blade Runner and all these movies to realize like what sounds people really liked, and that's why that one's so electronic. And he was like, I made Bag Back, and that's like in Black Panther, like all these movies, like, and he's like, dude, I'm like set pretty much just off doing movies. And like
That's
I never like
crazy.
that's my favorite album of his, and I never realized like there's a fucking reason for that, you know? Like he was specifically trying to appeal to a mass audience so that it could be in like soundtracks and sound like really good. But
You know,
it's fucking crazy.
I gotta say that's kind of fucking genius.
Yep.
So, what did you rate it?
I rated this one an 8 out of 10.
All right, interesting. I rated it higher. I rated it a 9 out of 10. This album just fucking works, man.
Yes,
It just works.
it does.
Every song is great. Are You With That is a perfect opener, and it does flow well into Law of Averages. Sundown Town is good. The standout for me is actually The Shining. I have one complaint about this album, and it's way too short. Give me another 20 minutes, please.
Yeah, his last album was very short too.
Yeah. It's what I've come to expect with hip hop, but it's I don't know, man. I fucking love this album. It was great. It's a good album. Hip hop album of the month. Hot take,
Definitely.
apparently, because people are all up in arms about.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay. All right. Moving on, we have a Snow Allegra album, which you were very excited about. Take it away, Mr. John.
So, the reason my last score was an 8 is because this is a 9, and I don't think the Vince Staples album is quite as good as this. This is my album of the month across any genre. Temporary Highs in the Violet Skies by Snow Allegra. I give it a 9 out of 10. She's been steadily putting out music for a few years now. I first discovered her when Vince Staples actually did a feature on her debut album on a song called Nothing Burns Like the Cold.
Nice.
Fucking great song, really jazzy piano sample. So different than modern R&B is today. And I kind of thought she was going to go that route with it. She followed that up in 2019 with a really good R&B album that included the single I Want You Around, which I think is probably her most successful single as of now. And I recommend listening to it if you haven't already. But all of that is just to say I was expecting something really good because she's only put out really good stuff. But this blew me away beyond that. It ticked all the boxes. As much as I want to compare it to other albums, like the first time I listened to it, I texted one of my buddies and I was like, this is her Usher 8701 album. Like this is it.
Yep.
I maybe not from a commercial standpoint, but like the
Musically.
way it's its own thing. Musically, it reminds me of it so much at times. She does Michael Jackson like things on some of these songs too.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna refrain from the comparisons, even though I kind of just made one, because somebody tweeted the day after this came out was like, she's this generation Sade. And she quickly responded and was like, never disrespect the legend like that. Like, Sade is every generation Sade. Like,
Fair.
that's a comparison I could never, ever accept, you know? And I
Super
respect
duper
her
fair.
for, yeah, and I respect her so much for doing that. Indecisive, the opener on the album, my favorite song on the album. I love the fucking pitch shifted intro, and that melody is super 90s R&B, so that's my top shit. Easily my most played song this month. We get two fucking Tyler the Creator collaborations, and they mesh perfectly together. He also produced both songs that he's on, and you'll be able to definitely tell that if you go back. They they feel maybe a little more Igor production than Call Me If You Get Lost,
For
but
sure.
you'll hear it there. This is a no skips album for me, and number 2 on my albums of the year list so far, right behind Tyler the Creator.
All right. Wow. What a review.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, man. This album's catchy as fuck. The entire album is. She's got a great voice, and what I really like, and so this is coming from, I think, not being a huge fan of R&B gives me a unique advantage of reviewing shit like this because, well, it's not my scene, right? It's definitely yours, so it is what it is. But I think really good music is going to shine when I listen to it because again, it has to be good music and not just good R&B for me to like it.
Yes.
This album keeps a really appealing tempo for me when it comes to R&B, which I dig. Just like that, has some Michael Jackson's vibe to it. That's what I wrote down. Those are my notes. I don't particularly like the slower ballads as much as I like the rest of the album, but again, like you said, there's no skips on this album. It's a good album. I can't decide which song I like better, either Indecisive or Neon Peach, and I think it's gonna lean more towards Neon Peach, but
Neon Peach is great.
It's a great album. There. It's a great album. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this album. I'll definitely go back to it.
Fair.
Which is weird.
For a non R&B fan, 7 out of 10 is pretty good. That's like me with metal sometimes, so I get it.
Yeah, it really did speak to me. It's good. It's good album.
Fuck yeah.
So I think the next one is Takei Maidza.
Maidza? Yeah, I think it's Maidza.
Okay. Last year was weird. Volume 3. They are not lying about last year being weird, but
what's funny is this is literally her third album called that, and last year was like she released an album called this, and I was like, yeah, 2019 was weird, and it's like, oh shit, 2020 was weird. So she's very good with the names. What did you think of this?
So I had not heard of. I had heard of, but I had not listened to Kay before this EP. So this is the my first foray into their music. She's got a really cool style. It's really laid back. It's really confident. At just 22 minutes, the EP is it's solid. It's fun to listen to. It starts out fun with Eden. It starts to really pick up. Syrup is fucking great. I think that's my standout on it. She's got a really good flow, and I really like the beat on Kim. Overall, it was really enjoyable, really confident. It's really confident without being arrogant, which I like. It's kind of toes that line. I also gave this a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, she's got a really good balance of the very much like Doja Cat, the pop R&B and hip hop thing. She can balance them well. Kim is the only song on it that I skipped. The vocals just drive me fucking crazy on it.
All right.
Eden feels like a Tierra Whack song, and I like that we're hearing this style of rap more. On to Me with Umi is fantastic as an R&B song. I really wasn't expecting that, but I love it. So Cold kind of feels like one of those like Doja Cat 80s inspired disco tracks.
Yeah.
I think Syrup is the banger of the album, and I think we actually might have talked about it when it came out like earlier this year, but still a banger.
Yeah, it's that's definitely my standout.
Yeah, great job.
What's your rating?
I give it a 7 out of 10, and my favorite song was On to Me.
Nice. Mariah the Scientist, Rai Rai World.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time hearing of Mariah the Scientist. Short for an album. It's 28 minutes. I like her voice. Look, it's funny. I've noticed that most tracks that have a feature of these ultra auto-tune mumble rap dudes, the artists themselves seem to mumble more like the features that are on the
Yeah.
album, and or on the song rather. So even I hear that a lot on the Young Thug song. So even at only 28 minutes, this album kind of struggled to keep my attention. It's not bad, right? But it's just not something I'll actively listen to again. It just
Mm-hmm.
didn't really hit that number for me, you know.
What rating did you give it?
I gave it a 4.
Fair?
It was hard to pay attention to this album. It was
Yeah,
difficult
I
to keep
felt
it.
like I'm kind of in the same train of thought as you. I thought she has a really unique voice and a unique way of approaching R&B. I didn't really enjoy anything on this album as much as the song I discovered her from, which is called Beetlejuice. She released, I think, on her last album. Put that song on one of your listen to next if you want. That one's really, really good in a completely different style than this. The only standout going back to this album for me was All For Me, just because it's a very sultry, pure R&B song. But like you said, I see the little baby, I see Young Thug. I usually just hit skip right away. Um, yeah, didn't do anything for me. Won't go back to it.
You
But
know,
I gave it a 6 out of 10 just because I thought it was okay. But yeah,
well, I don't like Young Thug. We've talked about it earlier in the podcast, so I won't go into it again. I don't hate Lil Baby. I don't hate him. I think that he has featured on a few songs that I have really enjoyed. The problem is that when you get somebody like that featuring on a song that somebody is not like that, you get this kind of blend of from the person hiring Lil Baby, and I don't like it. People feel the
yeah,
need to be auto tuned more, and it just isn't my jam. So.
I agree.
Moving on, we have Reggie Snow with Baba Black Sheep. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it if that's cool
Go
with you,
for
Tom.
it. Yeah.
This is rap, but he has a lot of really cool jazz elements, and you know how I feel about jazz. He kind of has a sort of Anderson .Paak feel a couple of times, but it's really only in feeling only, right? It just makes it kind of
Groove.
it elicits the same feeling that I get when I listen to Anderson .Paak. The flow and the song structures are really unique and original. I had never listened to Reggie Snow before this. I had never heard a song of his. But that's definitely going to change. Cookie Chips has a really Cookie Chips has a real Flower Boy flow to it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
I really like that. Doom's verse is fucking amazing. This is how you feature MF Doom. Take note,
Yeah.
IDK. It first fits really perfectly into this song. There's like real passion in here. The flutes and mirrors are amazing. I thought that this was art, man. I think my standout is Cookie Chips. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Wow, I'm glad you really liked this.
Really enjoyed it.
I assumed you hadn't heard him before. He's not very well known. My favorite song of his, I think the one I discovered him from is called Egyptian Lover, and it's Amine did a feature for him like way back when he first was getting going, and that song's fucking great. I think that's one of his songs.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that one's great. So this album features a lot of production from Cam Obi, who I think is most famous for like his Chance the Rapper collaborations, which you can hear the DNA of a lot on here, like a lot of the childlike elements and stuff to
Yeah.
the production. Um, he feels like an odd mix of like Tyler the Creator and Amine a little bit to me. The album has great features from MF Doom, Snow Allegra, Tinashe, I feel like he just made a lot of really good choices. And I think Disco Pants is the one that stood out to me as the one I kept revisiting the most. I really like the bounce to it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad you did too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was surprising. I wasn't expecting to enjoy when I put it on. I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting to enjoy something so much. So, thanks, man.
Of course. That's
All
why we
right.
do this.
Next album. Let's talk about Willow.
Let's do it.
Willow Smith put out lately. I feel everything. Sorry, everything's in caps, so you gotta accentuate that a little bit. This is the kind of a similar vein of the Olivia Rodrigo album for me. It's a bit different sonically and stylistically, obviously, but I got the same vibes from it. It's a really good short album. There's just enough angst in here to be edgy and just enough energy to feel rebellious. She's got a great voice. Using Travis on only the 3 songs was a good choice in my opinion, because it let her kind of branch out on some of the other songs. And I really enjoyed this song. I think Transparent Soul is my favorite. I gave this a 7 out of 10.
Interesting. That's I feel like gonna be the blanket review for this album. And I think you're right. I think it kept being marketed kind of as like Kenny Hoopla. It's like this is a pop punk album, and it's not. This is a pop rock album. This is not pop punk in any way, shape, or form, really.
Definitely.
This is a pop star doing her version of rock, and it works. I don't expect her to keep doing this style, honestly, after this album or tour or whatever she's going to do. She might return to it later, but I don't see her doing this long term. I think she's good at it though. I think the reserved use of Travis Barker was smart as well, not only because he's oversaturated at the moment, but because I feel like the best moments of the album are parts where it's just like her. I think the stretch of Don't Save Me, Naive, and Lipstick are kind of like that's the meat of the album. That's like this is not the stuff I was like, oh, this will get on the radio or whatever.
Right.
Like that's the heart of what she would sound like if she was really in a band. But
clearly
the standout singles are going to be Transparent Soul and Grow, which I imagine will probably hit radio soon with her, Travis Barker, and a very rare feature from Avril Lavigne. But I think that they work really well together, and I would really like if Avril comes back for her to like return the favor and do another feature with this.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I totally see Avril doing that, which is neat. So yeah, I like this album.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. My favorite song was Lipstick.
Nice. All right, sweet. All right, so a weird one is we got an EP from Chet Faker, I think last month, and now we've got an album that contains said EP.
Yeah, and I felt like the album's good, but I feel like how I felt about the EP pretty much covers how I felt about the album.
I mean, he makes one song 1,000 different ways, and he's very good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really enjoyed the album. I thought it was creative. I thought it was very Chet Faker, and I thought it was not revolutionary, but really unique. I think he has this. So, let me ask you, John, where does Chet Faker lie on the in genres? Like, what do you classify him as?
Probably whatever I would classify like Hot Chip as.
All right. It's hard
I
to
don't
place,
know.
right?
Alternative electronic, maybe.
That's
It's
kind of why I
interesting.
like him so much, because I can't really put a fucking finger on it.
Yeah, it's hard to define.
I enjoyed it. I actually gave it an 8 out of 10 total. I think Whatever Tomorrow is my favorite, and I think that was also on the EP.
Yeah, I think he did a good job picking like the best songs for the EP. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Feel Good was my favorite, which was also on the EP and the name of the EP.
Nice. All right, sweet. So I'm very interested to hear what you think of Pig and Dan's Soul Catcher.
I really, really like this. Gregor Tresher, is that another producer that they were working with on this?
You know, I had never heard of them. I actually didn't even click on his Spotify. Let me do it now. Guess it's another producer.
Okay, so this is like a collab album between
I
two different
guess.
artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it works. The low end on this album is phenomenal. The
So
bass, this
good.
is another one where it's like definitely get in your car if you're going to listen to this, or put on some good headphones,
Right.
or have some good speakers in your house because it's worthy of it. It sets the tone right away because Metal Life, it just fucking hits. That's my favorite song on the album. But there's some other moments I really liked. Fucking Moonbreaker was phenomenal. Soulcatcher, the title track,
Soul
really,
Catcher's
really
so
good.
good.
Yeah, it's a fucking great album. I didn't know anything about them. I still really don't know much. I've listened to this album about 3 times, and I'm still gonna probably return
Nice.
to it a few more.
I'm really glad you like it, man. I'm a fan of Pig and Dan. They put out an album called Destination Unknown in 2014, which I'm a huge fan of, and I forget what year. It wasn't 2014 when I discovered them. It might have been a few years after that. But
Yeah,
I really like them. They put out really good music, and they put out an album which I wasn't expecting. I'm kind of not plugged into that area of music right now. And so when I saw that an album had dropped, I was like, okay, let's listen to this. And holy shit, it's very good. Soul Catcher's my favorite. I gave this an 8 out of 10. It's a very good album in my opinion.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice. All right, so I think we have coming up next.
Yep,
I think it's it, man.
Isaiah.
I think it's Isaiah.
It is.
Uh, Please go first.
Okay. So I was hoping I would enjoy this album a lot more than I did. He's been more or less dormant since 2016 and recently opened up about like all of his personal struggles he was going through at the time, and I empathize with that. But I was expecting a very refocused Isaiah that would be more dialed in, and I think we do get glimpses of it on the album, but it's not quite the instant classic people are wanting it to be, in my opinion. We open up with Dark Side, and it feels like it's going to be great. It's a fantastic intro. Then we switch gears to the Little Uzi Vert collab that does nothing for me. It's completely different sonically from the opening.
Right.
And then we go into R.I.P. Young, which is probably one of the best songs on the album, and just him doing just him rapping, which is what we wanted to hear. And so we kind of get this momentum going again, and then it fucking comes to a screeching halt with Lay With Ya, which was like the first single he released that I didn't care for at all. And so I'm like, all right, we've had this stop start thing twice. And then we get to the track Claymore with Smino, a fine song that really starts the actual momentum stretch of the album. We go to Headshots from there, which my personal favorite song on the album. It's got a nice groove to it, nice jam. I was hoping more of the album would sound like that. Then we move on to All Herb, which is fine, nothing great, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't stop the momentum again, which is nice. And then we start to lose momentum again with Hey Mista, kind of a short and not memorable track. And then we get the first TDE feature of the album by J Rock on True Story. They sound great together, but I don't really love the hook. What You Said is another really good song from the album and probably my favorite instrumental. But after What You Said, the album goes back and forth between not bad and not memorable. The low point probably being the 9 to 3 freestyle. I gave this one a 6 out of 10, and my favorite song was Headshots. But I really don't know how much I'll be returning to this one. Definitely will give it another spin or two out of respect. But how are you feeling about this one a few days after release?
Okay, so all right, so I half listened to it yesterday. By half listened, I mean I literally had just one headphone in. I was at work, and that whole time I listened to the whole album, and I couldn't quite find anything that was memorable about it. Couldn't really call it a stand. Couldn't really call a standout out from it. So I'd literally never heard an Isaiah Rashad song before listening to the singles from this album and this album. which I think gives me a unique ability to dodge the hype.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of hype around this album. Going onto the forums and reading what other people thought after I had, kind of formulated my own thoughts on it. Everybody was really just about the fact that it took 5 years and shit like that. So I dodged a lot of the hype, which is great, and I don't think it lives up to it. There's a lot of hype surrounding this album, and it just isn't that good, man. Look, it's a fine album, right? There's some good beats. There's some there's some interesting flows. I really like that J-Rock feature, but thinking back, I can't think of one line from Isaiah on this album. Can you?
No. You smooth like an R&B song. That's about the only one I remember.
I can't think of anything iconic, and people are acting as if this is the fucking revolutionary album of the year. Like Tyler didn't just drop a fucking masterpiece, and it is fucking weird to me. It's weird because while this album is fine, I really wanted to like it. I like settled into my chair, poured myself a glass of wine. I put my can headphones on. I was like, all right, let's get it. Like, let's listen to this iconic album. And it was not that.
No, it wasn't. And if his fans feel like it is, then good for them. But it didn't win me over.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that if you're a fan of Isaiah that this is that this could be revolutionary. I just don't get the hype, man.
I don't either.
Get the hype, man. I think
he's got potential.
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to it one more time. But other than that, I don't know.
I'm with
you.
Look,
I think that this album will likely be overshadowed by subsequent releases, both on and off Top Dog Entertainment, by the end of the year.
Yeah, we got allegedly Kanye West next week. I'm sure it'll be forgotten about by even then.
So, yeah, allegedly.
What did you rate it?
I rated it a 6.
Okay, so same.
Yeah, it was weird. I really wanted to like it. People are saying that it's this iconic album, and I can't think of one fucking line from Isaiah right now. And if it's gonna be an iconic release, if you're gonna wait 5 fucking years to release it, put out something lyrically challenging, man. This doesn't do it.
Yeah, it didn't for me. Didn't.
All right. Moving on to Billie Eilish. What did you think?
A lot more hype, I guess. You could instantly tell when she started releasing the singles for this that it was going to be a lot different than her last album, and it definitely is. Still produced entirely by her brother Phineas, but taken in a slightly different, quote-unquote, more mature direction, for lack of a better term. Much like the Vince Staples' new album, she kind of traded in bangers for more of an up-close and personal look at her life. And I respect that approach, but I like my pop music to be fun. And a lot of this album isn't really fun for me to listen to, even if it's pretty good. But I still think it's going to do huge numbers and be considered a success. I didn't dislike all of it or even most of it. I think the standouts for me are the obvious ones, if you know my taste. Oxytocin,
yep.
NDA, Therefore I Am are all jams that I'm happily listening to. I don't think this album dethrones Olivia as the pop album of the year so far, but I guess time will tell on that. I give it a 6 out of 10, and my standout was Oxytocin. What about you?
All right, so I was almost nervous to listen to this album.
Why is that?
I don't even really know why. It just felt intimidating because of all of the hype that was surrounding it. I didn't actually listen to any of the singles.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did you add something to the playlist? Because if you did, then I listened.
No, I had waited. I knew it
Yeah.
was gonna be. I think the singles were Lost Cause, Your Power, My Future, like some of the slower ones.
Right. So my Oxytocin feels like a return to form while staying in this kind of stylistically premeditated future sound for her. It's somehow lacking layers while simultaneously stacking them on top of one another.
Hmm.
This album is definitely an incredibly personal album for her. I really have to commend that from somebody with such pressure on them for everything but their music. You'd think that she would want to create something that would live up to expectations, but instead, she puts out songs like "quote Not My Responsibility," which really highlights the societal bullshit that she's gone through. Overall, I think that it's just really not up my alley. It's just entirely not up my alley. It's too subdued for my taste, and it takes a long time to build up to basically nothing. Um, I give it a 5 out of 10. It's not that good.
Fair.
And yeah, it just is what it is, man. All right, so you threw a last minute album on here from Dave East and Harry Fraud.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
I didn't know it was even coming out. I think I saw Dave East and Harry Fraud released a single from it like a few weeks ago, but I didn't add it to the playlist. I didn't really think about it. And a buddy of mine like sent me the album and he was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And I trust his taste, so I started playing it. And I was like, "Oh, I really do like this." Like I feel like Harry Fraud's production style matches Dave East's rapping style very well. Dave East reminds me a lot of Joyner Lucas in the sense that he's just like raw potential that just needs to be kept on track to really reach his heights.
All right, I see that.
Yeah. I gave this album a 7 out of 10, and I feel like Diamonds is the best song on it, but it's a great album front to back.
Yeah, it's great. I'm a big fan of Mobb Deep, Nas, and a lot of other New York hip hop. And yeah, this is very good. It was great. I really like the Benny the Butcher feature.
Yeah.
And Diamonds is easily the best song. I give it a 7 also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And I think that wraps up the playlist.
What?
Well, this was a lot of content to go through, but it was a fun month, a good release, a good release month. Yeah, lot of metal, but then it kind of died off with the metal, and we replaced it with some other cool stuff. And what are you looking forward to in August?
August, I'm definitely looking forward to mm, Nas King's Disease this upcoming week. That I think that's going to be one of my most
Oh,
anticipated.
that's right.
Jungle, Loving in Stereo next week. That's going to be, or 2 weeks from now, that's going to be fucking great. And I feel like we're going to have a few shock drops.
Maybe.
Not Kanye West, but we'll see how that turns out. We'll definitely review it if it actually gets released.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
Yeah, I doubt it, but we'll see.
Well, I am excited for Jinjer, and I think that's coming out next week, and we're gonna see where the rest of August takes us. But let's go ahead and archive the playlist today, and we will see you all. We'll hear you all next time.
Peace.
Later.